Hey, test. Get a quick audio level check. Test. I can't hear you.
Muting. Test.
This is why we test.
This is how you test. This is the purpose. Fix your
Travis
face.
is a monkey. What's up?
I don't know why. It's just I still have that gene where I just want to make funny faces in the mirror or whatever. I don't know what it is. Never outgrew that.
You're good.
It's called maturity. Some haven't. Nurad screenshot saved. Perfect.
You got a screenshot?
Nurad said he got a screenshot. Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
I got it on video, so it's all good. We're all Jarv, say something real quick. Just check your level with the rest of them.
Check in. 1, 2, 3.
You come through so clear.
Hot.
Yeah, I was like, I turn you down a little bit.
Yeah, he coming in. He coming in.
Try it again.
Testing. 1,
Perfect.
2, 3.
Perfect.
There we go. All right, you guys want to hit that Audacity green light in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hold on, damn it. Pressure.
You literally were like, hey, you want to do the recording? Assuming that you're ready.
Ready now. Do it again.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Man. All right, we ready.
Recording. In progress.
In progress.
Intermission in 5, 4.
Remember when I did the intermission?
Oh, yeah.
That was funny. That was funny.
All right. Yeah, we'll go silence on the set and get it started. 5, 4.
Whoa.
Whoa, what?
I thought we started already. Yo.
Are you recording? Are you recording?
I was. Let me.
No, you should be recording.
Yeah.
We record a little bit before we
I always do
Before we
recording.
actually Yeah, you good.
Yeah. You're already recording. You're good. Are you recording now? He's like, I can't answer.
That face indicates otherwise.
That is a lack of confidence.
I had a momentary lapse of non-recording. So
it's all good. I was
if
there.
you're recording now, that's totally fine.
I am recording now.
Perfect. Yes. No big deal. I'm going to cut the ends off of it anyway when I upload it everywhere. So just my channel gets to see the other stuff. So, all right. That's.
All right. And we are live. The last word with LordCognito, Ebontis, Ty Guy, Travis, fresh on that Thursday evening campfire. Before we even start, it feels good to be back with my Destiny brethren.
Welcome back.
I missed you guys. I've been working like a dog, but it's good to be back podcasting with the crew. Got a special guest, but before we get into that, Ebontis, how are we doing, sir? Like the shirt?
Doing good. Yeah. You guys who like the advanced GG world, make sure you guys follow all of us tomorrow. Got some hype coming your way. Good times. Travis is just rolling his eyes through the back of his head. It's all right. Someday I'll get hit. Yeah, it's like I'm good. I don't need that stuff. No, it's been a good week. Excited for what we're going to talk about tonight and kind of getting towards the end of the season. Got some nice news, but the big thing is I got to check with our guy Ty Guy Travis because he may be heartbroken because the director of Fast X bailed right after week 1. How are you feeling, Travis? What's up?
Yeah, it's a pretty rough week in the Fast and Furious world, but I mean the good news is he still wrote the screenplay and he's also still a producer on it. So I don't know what the creative differences could be if you wrote the screenplay, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Fast and Furious has had a lot of different directors over the length of its run. And, you know, Fast and Fate of the Furious is one of the better ones, not directed by Justin Lin. So as long as he's like writing it and overseeing the series, it doesn't scare me a whole lot. I think a lot of the Fast and Furious like news that you see on the headlines are sort of like overblown. It's like people who don't play Destiny and then they read like a Destiny headline and they're like, oh my God, crazy stuff's happening in Destiny. But then those of us who are actually in the community are like, it's not that big of a deal. That's how I feel about Fast and Furious. It's like, I'm so close to it. I'm just sort of like, nah, it's not even that big of a headline. Like Justin Lin was off of the Fast and Furious project for like years and then came back and directed a whole bunch of them and then was gone for a while and then comes back. So this isn't even like the weirdest thing that's happened with that one director.
He goes in the waves.
Yeah. So this is sort of just business as usual, I think. But yeah, we'll see how that ending is. It's been a fun week for Destiny, Star Wars, and Fast and Furious. So I'm busy. I got my plate full.
Nice.
Also McClunky.
McClunky.
McClunky,
I was going to say,
everyone.
speaking of McClunky, one of my buddies is in the Star Wars experience like hotel where it's like 48 hours. You do like the quests. He actually got he's doing that real life thing, and because his birthday is tomorrow, so he just was like, he's like, I know it's expensive, but I'm doing it, so I'll be curious to hear what that thing is like, because he took a couple pictures already of what like the cafeteria is like. He's like, it's a cruise ship, but so far on land. Room looks pretty crazy though.
Nice.
Yep,
That's cool.
Cog, what about you?
Lot going on. Fresh back from Boston. Big PAX East trip last week with the whole team. All the Lords Impacts for the first time, which was cool. We haven't done all four of us in a long time, since probably like E3. You know, had a couple of writers with us from LordsGaming.net. So we were just covering all the new games, man, all the new stuff. It was a lot of really cool, exciting games in the indie and the AA space. Very excited about that. And happened to miss one of the largest TWABs ever.
Yeah, you did.
Ever.
Ever.
And
Probably
you know how
the
I
largest
feel.
TWAB ever.
Yeah, you know how I feel about Sandbox changes. So when I finally get back, finish all of the press stuff and the emails and the coverage, I'm like, well, what could have happened? That was so crazy. And I'm like, this whole Sandbox is, it's nuts. So definitely, I was looking at what you guys were saying about that. And then, I'm just good to be back. And I started playing Destiny probably around Tuesday, Wednesday, just got to get my feet wet again, see what's going on. And I'm back, man. We got stuff to talk about. And we got a special guest we got to bring in that's been very patient.
Yes. So welcome to The Last Word, episode number 195. Guardian Games is upon us, and maybe it is the year of the floofers, but we will just have to see. As Season of the Risen is in the home stretch and the temperatures are warming up for the northern half of the world, the next season of Destiny is one of the few releases coming out this summer. How better to build hype for the franchise than one of its biggest ambassadors in the United Kingdom? Sharing gaming with his wife and son makes this guest's journey a special one. This family man knows that hard work is the key to success, and he is putting in the overtime for sure. Last time we had him on, it was a little shy of about 2 years ago, and since then he has rocketed up into the YouTube stratosphere with no signs of slowing down. Whether it's knowing what the coming week has to offer with his Monday guide, or his Tuesday reset streams to kick off the newest content, spreading the latest info sometimes even before it's released, and making sure we stay on top of everything in this crazy universe of light and dark. I'm happy to welcome back a man who now has over 133,000 subs on YouTube, over 25 million views on his videos, over 12,000 followers on Twitch, and about half of that in his Discord. If you don't know him, you damn sure need to change that. Let's welcome one of the hardest working and nicest guys I'm happy to see all these levels of success for, the one, the only, Jarvinius, or Jarv. How you doing, sir?
A lot's changed, isn't it, since I was last on here? Wow. Like, what were we? I was nearly at 6 million channel views, I think, when I was on here last.
Yep.
So to come up.
I tell you, time flies when you're having fun, though, right? That 2 years has gone well quick. Lots changed. My personal life on YouTube, Destiny, obviously. So, yeah, man. Wild ride.
Jarv in the building. Good to have you back, brother. I was talking to E a while ago. I was like, yo, we haven't spoken to Jarv in a while. And I always like looking at your timeline, because one thing that you do that I feel like a lot of content creators don't do, especially in Destiny, or just in general, it doesn't even have to be Destiny, is you kind of speak what you want into existence. You know what I mean? And as far as your goals and stuff like that, you're like, yo, we hit this milestone. You always celebrate another. So salute to you, man, because I love to see the journey. The content is fantastic. When a little Jarvinius video comes through, I'm like, all right, let's see what he got to say. What's going on? So, yeah, man, it's good to have you back. How you been otherwise? How you feeling about Destiny right now? I'm very curious.
I feel like Destiny, after the launch of Witch Queen anyway, is definitely probably in the best place. Destiny 2 is in the best place it's been. I think probably ever at this point. And a lot of the devs seem really hyped about next season, which is exciting. Because I don't think I've seen them that excited for a season. I've seen them excited for a major release, but not a season. So they've obviously got something up their sleeves. But when haven't they? So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But yeah, celebrating success is important. I feel if you're not going to celebrate it, then you can't expect anyone else to. And it's really important to... Doesn't matter how big or small milestones need to be celebrated, because they do make the difference. They're motivators, right? It's from one milestone to the next, and if you're not going to celebrate it, then
Who is?
What can I say?
Little
definitely.
celebration and party of me.
Mhm.
Yeah,
do it.
salute, man. Salute. E, what you got for Jarv since he's returned?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good to have you back. I wanted to ask you two things. One, did you give your play button to your son?
It's currently up there because so basically I got it mounted in a frame,
Nice.
and it's basically like really strong tape. So what happened was, where his Xbox is, that tape was not strong enough with the heat, so it came away. So I had to get it reframed, and it's now basically hung in the frame, and it's currently just above the desk out of the way. So the plan is definitely for him to have it back. I just want to put it somewhere warmer.
Gotta make sure it's gonna stick.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember walking in, I'm like, hang on a second, that's like, is my head broken? Like, that looks weird. Like the frame is straight, but the actual award wasn't. And I was like, yo,
Oh,
I don't think he's
weird.
done anything to it.
Hmm.
And the guy who's local, he's like, yeah, just bring it back in. And he's actually hung it in the frame now, like proper. So it shouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But let's see. We'll see.
Nice. And then I wanted to ask, because it's definitely one of your huge ones every week, is This Week in Destiny, but you chose to do that on a Monday instead of This Week in Destiny on Tuesday, when we really start our weeks. And I wanted to see kind of what was your thought process behind trying to do it on a day before. Is it just getting ahead of the game, trying to differentiate yourself? What was the idea behind that? And because it's been hugely successful, those numbers are massive.
Yeah, I would say that series in itself has probably transformed the trajectory of the channel. I feel like the channel was on a good trajectory anyway. I don't think we would have hit 100k as soon as we did without it. But it boiled down to, I was having meetings with sort of my network, and just sort of like, we're just coming up with like conceptual ideas about something that is something that is unique to you in a way, something that people can associate to you. Because like, when you think of people, like if I think about, I want a shotgun review, I'll just go and check out Fallout. He'll let me know if a barrel gives me a range or not. You know what I mean? Like, we'll go there. Or if you want raid guides, go Datto. If you want news, you go to my friend Houndish. He's there pretty much on the daily, bagging out news. So I was like, okay, I need something that can associate with me. And it was like, we do the streams on a Tuesday, and then like we do the hour sort of pre-stream, pre-reset piece, and people will be coming in chat and be like asking about what's the Nightfall, what's the weapon, what's this, what's that, we got a new mission, what's the seasonal challenges, and I'll just be rolling it off, be like, yeah, it's this, it's that, you know. So I'm sat there, and then in this meeting with my network, going, well, on a Tuesday before I stream, I know what's happening because I live in the game. So like, people come in and I'm telling them, it's like, well, why are you not putting that in the video though? Like, it's like, I don't know. That's a good point.
That's a good question.
So naturally, like, the question I get asked a lot is where you get the information from, because people think like I'm like Java Thune and got like some secret just like some secret crystal ball.
Two truths, two lies.
Or some inside knowledge, but you'll know, and a lot of experienced players will know that Destiny and live games generally just work on cadences and rotations. Yep. So once you work those out and how they're displayed in game, then you're pretty safe. But anything's up for change because APIs can change. Bungie are able to do that. And there's some incredible sources like GG today in Destiny, incredible sources. There's some brilliant community members. Kaba, she does some pretty amazing work summarizing all the raid stuff, those cadences, challenges, and all that sort of stuff. So there's loads of resources out there, but what a lot of people don't do, bring that together.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. And the idea on doing it on the Monday as opposed to the Tuesday, there's a strategic element because everyone's obviously looking for reset on a Tuesday. Well, I'm streaming on a Tuesday, and if I start streaming after I posted the video, you know what happens to the video.
They cannibalize each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, I know we'll do it as a this week thing because it's timeless. You can watch that video any day of the week and it's relevant. If you watch a reset video on a Tuesday, yes, it's relevant for the week, but sometimes it's only positioned for that day. So I try and position it for that week. And even like towards the end of last season, we were doing like the lost sectors for the entire week. It literally just cover everything for the week. So the idea for that, especially like if you think of Wellspring, there's specific weapons you need to get exotic glaives. It's like, well, what days of the week are those though? You know, well, you need to plan to get on Destiny Wednesday and Thursday this week if you want those two things. So it just helps people plan their week a bit. And that's sort of the angle it's positioned there. It's less of a resetty. Whilst the information is based heavily on that, I position it. The intention is to be a weekly, like, this is what is happening this week and plan accordingly. And that's pretty much how that series sort of came about, really.
Nice.
Really cool. Really cool. Trav, any questions for the Jarv?
Yeah, you said you think Destiny is in its best place it's ever been, which I think probably some people on this panel would agree with you on. What would you give the Witch Queen on a scale of 1 to 10 if you had to review it, rank it? 10 being, you know, a masterpiece work, 1 being something that could scarcely be played. And what do you think it could do to improve where it's at right now?
Ooh. Oh. All right, we're going to have to break this down then. Witch Queen, so I think it's really important to separate the campaign from everything. I think from a standalone, like a standpoint, like the campaign is heads and shoulders above everything else that we've experienced from a campaign perspective. Mission layout, objectives. No mission is just like a 10-minute breeze. It's like, all right, let's lock out 40 minutes. Here we go. You know what I mean? And they are an absolute pleasure to play and replay. And I'm glad they're weekly missions. So from that standpoint, I wouldn't ever say like, I don't want to give anything a 10 out of 10 because I feel like that's just, I mean, you can really enjoy something, but ultimately there's always room for improvement, right? So, and I think Bungie will probably agree that they're always pushing for perfection, but you never really achieve it, right? So
Yeah.
I would say the campaign is definitely up there with a 7 or 8 in my eyes, because I feel like it's set a really high bar. It'd be really interesting to see what they do with Lightfall and how they can elevate that. That's going to be the real challenge, pushing that the next step.
What
Right?
about that? What about that raid?
Yeah.
Where you rank that?
Oh man, the raid.
Yeah, let's do it.
I really enjoy the raid, but there's elements of it that I don't enjoy. Like the final boss for me needs to have more health. Like I'm too like we got a really good team for Master Raid. So just a quick cap on the raid. So Master Raid launched. Like I do my daily reset stuff on the reset stream, and we jump into the raid probably about 20 to 7. And we're like, oh cool, we're going to do the challenge as well. First encounter, it shouldn't be too bad. We get a little bit stuck on the first encounter because we're just learning where champions are, because we're like, well, what's hard about this? Is it actual combatants are difficult, or is it just they're just going to throw champions in every corner? And it was a little bit of the first, but more of the latter, right? So once we got past the first encounter, it didn't feel much different. Like it was just like, oh, these are overloads, those are unstops and stuff like that. Right. And then we two-faced Roll on Master first, first try, like on Master. Wow. And it's like, and Ivy, who we ran with, he checked our stats. We weren't even bothered. Like it was just like we just wanted to get Master done because we didn't know how far do adepts go. Is it just the encounter, or is it every encounter?
Right,
prisms and shards is a cool reward, but if you're raiding, I feel like those aren't your priority. I feel like most of the time players are probably capped out on those materials, and those materials are lost even if they're granted in a raid chest. Yeah. So, and whilst I don't think they're bad rewards, I feel like the caps on them are bad, and which gives them almost no value for an end game sort of hardcore player, because that type of player is probably masterworking or every exotic and just filling up their vault with supplies. So it's always excess. But yeah, we finished at like 381 in the world for Master Raid, but we started 40 minutes late and did the challenge.
Wow! Wow!
But that tells me like Master isn't what I would hope it to be. Like I want Master to be like contest. Like I want it to be actually difficult,
Okay.
not just champions. And I feel like
Travis,
champions are just the easy answer to making something difficult, but not the right answer. And they need changing as well. They're a bit long in the tooth now. Overloads are still inconsistent. Unstops, you stun them, and they've just sprint towards you now. It's like, what is this? That like beginning of the season, I was like, yo, look, it pops up on the screen, hear the noise, audio cues, everything you expect, and this guy is literally just like coming to shoulder charge me now. So what is this? So I like the raid, but I feel like I feel like Master Vogue is better than Master Vow, personally. I know. And some people might not agree with that, but I feel like time loss weapons are definitely better than Adept Vow weapons for sure. I feel like that's a misstep there.
So that I was like, okay, so I gotta literally just queued it up too well.
Oh, you setting it up.
No, last week it was me, Travis, and we had Live Mondo on. And we got to talking about Adept versus craftable raid weapons. And I wanted to get both of the two people here we haven't heard your takes. Where do you guys stand on the Adept raid weapons versus the craftable raid weapons? I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth. So where do you guys stand on those? Jarv, you were like mid-sentence, but that's one piece that I wanted to ask both of you about, so we may as well do it since we're right in the middle of it.
Cool. Yeah, I don't mind picking that up. To begin with, I honestly, other than cosmetically, they don't actually hold any value, right? There's no curated role that you desire. Both perks in the column are random. Weapon crafting removes that randomness. So it's like, I'll just craft what I want and I'll give it an enhanced perk if I really want it. But if it was going to be random like that, I would have put enhanced perks as a possible drop chance, but also have a curated role for them too, because there needs to be a fallback. Because why run master? Like, why? Other than to do the challenges, you're one and done. Like, that's pretty much my view on it, and that's unfortunate because I actually really enjoy running it. I just don't have enough reasons to run it other than just getting the seal at this point, which is a disappointment. But I like where they've done with the raid ghost and hiding it behind the puzzle. Cool. Putting the sparrow behind some of the triumphs, like completing the master raid, for example, to get the sparrow. Nice. But just the implementation of adept weapons and what they are compared to like time loss versions and what weapon crafting means for those, I just feel like there could have been a bit more love shown to those.
Cog, what about you?
Yeah.
I don't know if you had a chance to dive into this.
Yeah, Jarv said it pretty much how I felt. You know, I'm the big proponent of time investment and value for what I'm getting. So what we all discussed this even prior coming in, right? We were like, hey, how is this going to land in a world where there's crafting, right? What is going to make this an attractive option to run consistently? And I think Jarv's on it because, like, for me, it's one of those things when once we found out what the rewards were, and it's the random nature on top of that. So you could still run it and theoretically get a bad roll or undesirable roll. And that to me defeats the purpose because it's like, again, the adept aspect is not a sexy proposition to me. That is not, something that even during the Grandmaster phase, like it wasn't anything for me that I'm like, okay, I have to have this. This is such a definitive thing. For example, like when we talked about the dungeon for the funny dungeon with the Galahorn was in it.
Grasp of Avarice.
Having the extra armor slot is an attractive thing on some level, right? That okay, you know what? If you really build craft, you really want to spec a build, having an extra slot, there's value in that. To me, they didn't present it with Master Vogue, and that's unfortunate because, like Charles said, like you do it, you run it, you get your challenge done, and I think they may have to revisit it because I don't think they could just continue to do what they've been doing now that crafting exists. And Travis is shaking his head, so let's go, Trav.
I mean, I already said my view last week, but my view is sort of opposite your guys', which I think that Destiny players who are super, super hardcore are, doing what they want, which is they want these super high-end activities to be rewarding for them. But if they're too rewarding, then they become mandatory for all players that either don't want to do that kind of activity or don't want to grind for the perfect role, or have a skill gap for it, right? And so I kind of see the beauty in the current system, which is you can get most of the way to the god role that you want. It won't be as good of as an adept that has all the right perks, but you can get most of the way through crafting, which is a pretty high barrier of entry, but it's not unattainable for a casual hardcore, a hardcore who isn't doing master raids, which I'm in that group. Like I play Destiny a ton, and I would never do a master raid just because I'm like, this I did the main raid. I don't need to do it where everything kills me in 2 hits. But for the people who want to do it, for the people who are looking for excuses to play Destiny more, there's this marginally better, weapon type that they can really grind out if they're trying to squeeze every single point out of it. So I kind of see beauty in that system, and I think if you make adept weapons too much better, then all of a sudden it makes the casual hardcore want to throw their hands in the air, because they're like, well, there's now to be competitive, I've got to play this other mode that I'm really not interested in doing, and it sort of makes that stuff mandatory rather than optional for the sweatiest of the sweaty. And that's how I kind of see it now. So I don't want grinding adepts to be mandatory, because if it is, there's really no events I like to do except for trials. You know what I mean? And it becomes too much of a grind for those who want to be competitive without having to do it. So I talked about this all last week. I'm just repeating myself now, but yeah, you guys aren't there for that.
Yeah,
I mean, trials adepts are similar to raid adepts now when you think about it, right? There's not really anything different between them. Cosmetically, they're a little bit different. They're all random rolls, but it's how you obtain them, right? Like going to the lighthouse or getting a flawless card, or getting wins on even a flawless from next season will get you a chance another adept weapon. But ultimately, it's still random, right? In terms of the drop, the rolls. So it's like, I mean, if that's their view, trials is like the aspirational piece of PvP content that a top percentage of players will engage with or be successful at, but it doesn't give them a weapon that's completely out of reach compared to average or above average players. And I guess what you're saying, Trav, is
I think
the
that's
same
the
with
goal.
Master Vow, right?
It
might be out of reach for some players, but it doesn't mean that you're handicapped by not being able to obtain it.
Correct. I think that's Destiny's goal, because if they make it mandatory, if they make it too good, then all of a sudden it's going to just piss off players that aren't in that top 1% of people who are going to be doing masters. Because didn't they say something like 3% of Destiny players do a raid or complete a raid?
Right.
It's like what must the percentage be for master? It must.
I'm okay.
It's even lower
because I'm ready to burst.
No. I was the opposite of Travis last week, so I went at it with him last week because my idea was the idea that you have 2 enhanced traits on a craftable weapon. You have a direct path to a god roll. If the meta shifts, then you can actually change your crafted weapon to shift with the meta. If a perk gets nerfed, then your gun is still good, as opposed to pain in the okay, for some people, Jarv is god tier, so you don't count. But for pain in the butt for a lot of people to go after a random roll with the only advantage being an adept weapon for the adept mod versus 2 enhanced perks, which tend to give you traits like stat boosts on some of those anyway. In my opinion, the adept weapons have absolutely 0 value compared to a crafted weapon, because you can spend just as much time going after both of them. One, you're guaranteed to eventually get a god roll. One of them, you have no guarantee, and theoretically, it could be made worse at any point, and it doesn't have access to enhanced traits. So my idea was adept weapons suck in comparison to crafted weapons because they don't have the options that craftables do. So in my opinion, there's no artifice armor in the raid. So that's a missed thing there. The raid armor doesn't have 11 energy, so you can't use the raid mod for master, which would be the idea, because that's where it actually could have some benefit. But then you can't stick with your build. So yeah, I just thought master was a giant miss, in my opinion. Shout out real quick to Gaming Forte. Last word, let's go. The background must have been Cog's idea. Actually, it was mine. I gave it to the Warlocks this week. They also are due to win this year, so hopefully they do for their sake, so we can have an even one. Have a great show, gentlemen. And then also Rook with the $10 super chat with what looks like a hippo doing power slides in an office chair. That is an
Yes.
amazing sticker. Thank you.
Love the
So yeah, my
sticker.
opinion was like the polar opposite of Travis's, but I went
Yeah.
through mine last week. So yeah, that was me.
So, the only thing I just add is just that I understand Travis' point to an extent, but I think at the end of the day, the reason why people don't engage in hard activities is because you have to give incentive, and you can't have the. I don't want to say crafting is the lower end because it's not. It is a time investment. It's a huge one. But those perks are better when you throw enhanced perks into a pool. And I think the happy medium is probably what Jarv said, which is kind of like at least maybe one of those slots has it in an adept.
Yeah.
Like one of the thing. Or what they used to do is remember when they give you the what was it when they started doing the
Curated roll?
the curated roll with the double option.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you have more chances to get a solid roll. But if you run a master, whatever, and you end it and you get like I don't know, I'm just making up what's the Insidious, right?
Yeah.
And you run around and you get, I don't know, what's two of the worst perks? And it's like you get two of the worst perks in Insidious after a master. That is very demoralizing.
Yeah, man.
So it's just like
but it's demoralizing. It's demoralizing to the people who were going to play Destiny anyway and are really looking to squeeze out that small percentage. Because honestly, I think you guys accuse me all the time on the show of being a PvP elitist, and I think your guys' PvE elitism is showing right now because you're trying. Yeah, absolutely. Because you're saying like, oh, this top percent, it should grant us better perks that just elevate us above everybody else.
Then you put no carrot at the end of a stick in a difficult activity. And at that point, if there's no incentive to play it as opposed to look at my shiny triumph I don't give a care about, if the carrot at the stick isn't there, if there's no benefit to running the difficult activity, then I find it difficult to do that. I don't get Adept Trials weapons because I'm not that good. But if I run a Master Raid, those should set themselves apart as well.
Well, Adept Trials weapons also aren't good. And that's fine. You know what they could do to make you guys incentivized to play the activity is they could make the activity fun.
That's a different discussion.
Interesting.
But,
yeah, but why isn't that what we're focused on?
Because it's a looter shooter. I'm done. All right.
Yeah,
it's a looter shooter.
This is why I had to have Cog talk this week.
I'm back.
I mean, you're back and welcome, but you're also wrong. And I just think that
it is a looter shooter.
Okay, are you
difficult activities is to reward the player so you increase the population base in said activity.
Which one is more important in a looter shooter, Cog? The loot or the game being fun?
Both. Why can't you do both?
Which one's more important? I want you to pick one. I want you to pick the more important one.
Exclusive.
It's a simple question, and if you can't answer it,
they're not exclusive. That's the thing. You're trying to limit me in a box. Why can't they do both? Why can't it be fun?
Okay. How about this?
Which it is.
How about this? Then you choose one.
Jarv's over here like, oh god.
Loot or activities that are fun. Those are mutually exclusive. Which one's more important in a looter shooter?
We don't need to separate this.
But I'm saying the problem that I have with all of these conversations that I have with you on every topic about it is that you're like, we're doing it for the loot, like it's a day job. We're like, the only reason we're here is so we can get good loot.
Of the game. What is the genre of this game?
The genre is looter shooter, but you're forgetting the more important part. You're forgetting the more important part. What is shooter? So you're looking at the genre. I'm looking at the other part of the sentence you said, game. Game. It has to be fun. It has to be a fun game.
We've already established it's fun.
Is Master Vault is fun? Is Master
Seriously?
Is Master Vow fun?
Guys.
Is Master Vow fun?
Guys.
Is it?
I'm done.
You can literally have a completely separate discussion. Are adept weapons versus craftable weapons worthwhile? Is the mechanics or champions that they put into the Master Vow well done to make the difficulty worthwhile? Jarv literally just said he rolled over it, but also people are really tired of champions, which overloads this season are probably the worst. So are the mechanics in the raid not at a fun state in master difficulty? I think a lot of us will agree on that one.
Yeah,
a separate topic.
So why don't you fix that and see if it fixes the player base?
But that's the whole point, is I literally just said these are separate. You can have loot and incentive be separate from the mechanics that you play. Those are two different things to work on. That's all.
But you guys are, my point is that you guys are misdiagnosing the problem. You're saying, oh, well, nobody's playing these activities because they're not rewarding. No, nobody's playing them because they suck. They're bad. That's why nobody plays them.
If the reward
fun,
was, if the
rewards
was,
wouldn't matter.
If the reward was good enough, I bet you more.
You guys don't know anything about game design. It's like, why would just listen to yourselves? Why should they, if they make the reward really good, but the activity isn't fun to play? You're saying that the reward should be so good that people are forced to play a bad game mode.
No one's saying that. Fun.
No one's saying that the game should suck.
You're making it like this is an exclusive thing.
You're focusing on the wrong thing.
We
want both.
We want.
Why is it wrong to want both?
Why is it wrong to want both? That's what I'm
Why
saying.
Can't we have good mechanics and good
Which one's
loot?
the bigger problem? Which one's the bigger
Both
problem?
of them at this point feel like a problem.
You think loot is just as important as the activity? The whole reason we're there being enjoyable.
I like the normal version, and craftable goes with it. Then you have something where the adept weapons, then you have adept weapons that don't feel as worth it, and master mechanics that also feel not fun and just more champion shoved in. Jarv, do you have like a balancing take on this situation? I'm trying to play ref between these two. I need a third party. I need a third party.
I would say it's very important to try not tar everyone with the same brush in this. They are two different issues, but a key thing to think about is Trials has been bad, but when the loot's good, people will play it, right? And
that's terrible.
Right? Is this thing called engagement?
That's terrible.
Right?
That is terrible.
Okay.
Why should people...
Travis, let him talk. Come on.
But it's not. But that happens though, and then the feedback gets through, and then since then, Trials has evolved. It's continuing to evolve next season with adepts being more obtainable through the passage and stuff like that. It's not until that feedback gets to the studio that they can actually do anything about it. But they are two different issues. But fundamentally, we've had the same issues in PvP, and you'll know that playing PvP primarily, right?
Of course. And guess what I hate about PvP? I hate when they do something like make the rewards and trials good without fixing the mode, because then they're just saying, hey, everybody, play this terrible game mode so that you can get good loot, and it feels like homework, when what they could do is just make the game fun, and then I would play it even if the loot was just so-so. Obviously, I want the loot to be good too, but I'm saying the more important thing, and but here's the thing. But here's the thing that's frustrating to me. Here's the thing that's frustrating to me is that people focus so much on the loot like that's the real problem. And I take offense to that.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. That's the thing. You keep putting me, hold on. You keep putting me in a box. Like I don't agree that champions are bad at the moment.
Exactly. We've all said the champions are not great. Separate discussion.
It is.
Well, the narrative was that you said it's a looter shooter. It's about the loot, and I just disagree with that statement.
This is the first time you admitted it. That loot is important as well. That's all I'm saying.
That's not the first time I've admitted it. I've just said that people would probably play the game even if the loot was just okay, if the game actually was fun, if the game mode of Master
we agree.
Disciple was fun.
So yes, we agree that the loot could use some work. And so we also agree the mechanics could use some work. Both are part of this equation. And that's, I think, where we're good. Necromancer with the $10 super chat. Loot makes a looter shooter, but if game isn't fun, story isn't good, or weapons don't feel good, most people leave other than just bad loot. That's Necromancer Zeal's take on it.
Yeah.
So my whole point is I think that the adepts could be, even if they're not that much better than craftable weapons, if they're a tiny bit better, people will play them as long as the underlying mode is fun. And I think the reason people aren't playing them is because the juice isn't worth the squeeze, because maybe they're a little better if you get the right roll, but the actual mode is just painful and nobody wants to do that stuff. For me, Grandmaster Nightfalls are painful. If they were fun activities, I'd be like, yeah, I'll get a little bit better for that. I don't need adepts to be crazy. And I think that the thing that players go to first is they should make adepts way better, because if adepts are way better, then people will play the game mode. And I'm like, well, maybe people shouldn't play the game mode. Maybe we shouldn't play it until it's actually an enjoyable experience. And that's my problem with all these conversations, is we start talking about the loot.
I didn't say that. For the record,
I know you didn't.
Okay,
I didn't. But what you did say is it's a looter shooter. Looters, loot is what matters, and it's like
Anyway, all right, all
We're
right.
going to minimize that. That's all I'm saying.
You good? You done, Travis?
I mean, I'm never done with this topic.
Yeah, I
Cog
know,
and I are
you-
going to go to
yeah.
war with
Technically,
this
that
forever.
was
I
moving
just-
for the sake of Jarv for years.
Yeah, Jarv. Anyway, sorry about the
Anyway,
Hello.
if I had
Sorry
to,
about the
if I had
tangent.
to
Back
rate Val out of 10,
Here we go.
going back to Trav's original
Still
question
Still hasn't done
about
it.
half an hour ago.
That's what I
There
was
we
trying
go.
to let him talk for.
My bad, Jarv.
No, you're good. So yeah, the campaign is probably an 8. I'd say the raid is probably a 6 or 7. I think. Yeah. I feel like
That's why.
I don't think it doesn't feel long enough. Like I don't know. I don't know if Bungie's just got a time in their head and they feel like raids can only be a certain length. And I get they are massive development, like, and time sinks. And that's part of the why we go, just quickly tapping on loot. Like, loot's an easy answer to something that's not performing as expected from an activity standpoint, because, you know, they can just put good loot in there and people will play it until they can adjust or fix it, right? It's a temporary answer some of the times, but not the long-term answer. And I feel like what Val does good is it takes like perseverance and it sort of slowly guides people that maybe haven't accessed the raid before into the opening section of that, so it's not completely alien to them. I feel like that's a fantastic way of actually opening that gate a little bit more for new players, making it more accessible initially. And then the encounters are good. I don't know, man. I feel like they're just adding more symbols, man. Like 25
yes,
this time.
sure.
Like I
Yeah,
learned a
that's a
whole
lot.
new
27.
alphabet this year. It's pretty wild. But I don't know if they're diverse enough, like compared to like encounters that we've had before. Like I'm going through, I'm like, oh, it's this relic, and it's this mechanic, but they're not new. So when it comes to like day ones and working out what it is you do, well, I know how this works, so it's probably going down this route, and you can anticipate more where this is going from like an entry standpoint. Like the best thing out of the raid is probably the last boss, in my honest opinion, because he's something completely new, completely alien, and we fight it in a completely different way to anything we've fought in the game before. My only sort of critique is that he probably doesn't have enough health for a final boss. But I guess that's a bit of an elitist
mode, he felt
statement
like
for
he had
someone
enough.
that two floored him on like master. But like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just he's the best part of the raid. I like getting Michael Jackson kicked in the face. Like, it's awesome.
Whoa!
Because give me the sweet spit kick, you know. He doesn't care. I love it.
Jackson kick.
And I want to see more of that. But other than that part of the raid, I feel like the rest of it, whilst it looks incredible, like I feel like mechanically it's too samey. Is that? It sounds bad, but
So
I
okay,
feel
let me ask you this. No, that is
So
totally a fair statement. Let me ask you this: as we are on year 8 of Destiny, is it our longevity with the franchise at this point, or is it their lack of creativity, or possibly lack of what they can build into a first-person raid, for example? Do you feel like our experience with 7 different raids throughout the years and 1 repeat, but that many raids throughout time, we are starting to understand what Bungie seems to be capable of? Do you think that's part of it?
Possibly. I don't feel like it's like I mean, they clearly have plenty of ideas, and we're clearly going to see things that we never thought we'd see in Destiny later down the line. And part of it might be going back to the accessibility standpoint. If I know exactly how something works, it's a doddle for me to explain that to someone else. You know what I mean? You haven't got to go back to the drawing board and write an essay of a TWAB trying to explain what something does or doesn't do. So like from introducing new people into raids or guiding them through it, like Deepstone was one of the best raids to like teach people raids. But I don't feel like Val is that quite yet. And I don't know why. I don't like everyone has clear roles, but I feel like they're not as clear as like Deep Stone. Like Deep Stone's the best raid to teach someone.
You think it's more with the randomness or the sheer amount of symbols or a combination of both?
Probably a
Like-
combination of it all. Like you got to try and like sometimes it's just say what you see. Like I did that with Last Wish. Like I just saw fish swimming through bacon. It definitely wasn't bacon, but I just said, "Say what you see, mate. I'll work it out." You know, it's just
You'll figure it out. No, that's yeah. I mean, we are at a point where I will say those symbols where it's like 4 different fish. At least these are all generally kind of their own thing, even if there are like 25 of
And
them.
they
I feel
have
like
names.
yeah, and they have names too, which does help. Granted, there's 25 of them or whatever it is, which is
27.
27. Sorry, but there's a lot. But yeah, they got away from 4 dragons, 4 fish, 4 like. There's not fish blank. It's one word, and you know what it is. You can learn that one, but also to a point, I will say, teaching people. Again, I haven't rated as much. I rated a lot in this one, so this one feels comfortable to me. But I also know exhibition to teach. If you have more than say like 2 people who don't know what they're doing, it's like you go this side, and you shoot stuff. If there's more than 2 people, the idea of like trading off and how you need to manage that, especially if you really have to switch people in, that's where it gets messy. And I think that much symbols plus mechanics in one encounter can definitely make teaching hard. So I fully get what you're saying there. Because yeah, like especially exhibition is when your team knows what to do, it's smooth. But if you're with people who don't know what to do, it's chaos.
yeah, exactly. Like you get to caretaker, you think, oh, this is just Shiro Chi, but he's just mega ugly. Like he's he's just. But obviously, there's other elements to it, and then you get to like exhibition. It's like, oh, this is like running the heart, but it's before the boss now. So it's there's similarities there. And for most of the encounters, though, everyone has a role that doesn't involve them just standing there and shooting stuff. And even with exhibition, they have to move, right? And you have to have an even split on the team. They still have a part to play, even if they don't pick up a relic. So it's good in that sense because we've all been in LFGs where people are like, yeah, confluxes, just stand there and just shoot and don't die. Yeah, that's fun, isn't it?
That's conflux is like just shoot things.
Just shoot things, don't die, and then jump up on top of that rock when the legions come. Yeah, love it.
I might have been that dude one time, Joe. Don't do it.
Oh yeah,
Get off that rock.
Vog's getting the beat down too. It's fine.
Yeah, but so that's part of why Val for me is like a sort of a 6 or a 7. I feel like if they improved to some or removed some of the randomness, I don't necessarily think the loot is bad, but I feel like have it like briefly touching on the adepts, like to get them, unlike Vogue, they're not assigned to an encounter; they're on a knockout system. So if you're after submission, it could take you 6 weeks to even unlock it in your loot pool, and then you can buy a second one from the boss, but it still might be both trash. But then that's the problem. That's the problem with loot generally when it's RNG, right? But so that in itself, like, it's another element of randomness which frustrates. But that's why I give it that. I still think Destiny's in its best place.
So what's your overall score, though? Could you assign a score to
the Witch Queen as a whole thing?
Mm-hmm. As a package.
Now you got to take into like strikes. No.
Nah, I would say. I would say it's a firm 8, and part of that is the circumstances. You have to think of the circumstances that this expansion was even produced in. The same as what I am right now in my living room, right?
Completely remote, yeah.
Completely remote. The best campaign we've ever seen. They've introduced weapon crafting in its first iteration, at least, which was something that we thought we'd never get in Destiny at all. Because, Destiny's always been about RNG up until this point. And then slowly but surely, 3.0 on the subclasses. So it almost felt like we got a new subclass, even though we didn't. Yeah. Like, I'm using Void 3.0 in a completely different way. So it feels new, even though it's not. I think there's a lot of stuff that's in Destiny that Witch Queen brought that we sort of take for granted. And those are a few things that people don't talk enough about. I think add so much longevity and value to the game long term that are really going to underpin the franchise, in the next major releases, really. I feel like it's really just a really solid foundation to finish this saga and then carry over that foundation into whatever the next chapter will be. So that's why I give it an overall sort of 8, because of the circumstances, what it actually done from a narrative standpoint, like through the campaign and how that rolled out, and the super strong foundations it's provided moving forward.
Well, I will say that is that's a nice little intro there we got there. So now we've done our introduction. No, that's
the warm up, right? We're all warmed up
that's
now.
just the warm up questions. Yeah. No, seriously though, like that's one of the reasons.
What's the point in doing a show if we're all going to agree? That's all I have to say.
I mean, sometimes I have to question if you're just playing devil's advocate just to get a rise.
No.
But I never know.
He truly believes in what he believes in.
Oh, I know, and that's some of the questions.
I believe in it. I believe in it, and I don't care what other people.
And we
believe me, after your reviews, we know you don't care. But yeah, that's why we love you.
Also, I scored it an 8 for IGN. So
yeah, so you guys
vindication, guys, you got it right.
Shout out real quick. I think Gaming Forte, we forgot for super chat. Travis is right. I won't do certain activities even if the loot is great. Fun trumps all for me. I refuse to grind something that feels like a chore. Then that could be the whole game depending on where you define it. So careful.
I say my 2 favorite franchises are Star Wars and Star Chores, which is Destiny.
Hey,
Lamau.
Well,
I think you missed another super chat. Did you get DJs?
Oh, where'd he go? DJ Oros.
You gotta get Mr. Khaled.
No perk is gonna make me any better at this game. You get what you get. Hey, bestie.
Hey, bestie.
Shout out DJ Oros.
Are you guys besties now?
Yeah, we're Destiny. I'm married.
Yes, Destiny besties. You're Destiny besties. It rhymes.
Yeah,
that's so
guy.
Cute.
That's my guy.
Is there anything from the major from the Sandbox? I am excited for machine guns massively. Is there anything else from the Sandbox massive 9,000 word TWAB from last week that you guys wanted to shout out or just like call to attention that you read through and were like, damn, that sounds good or bad? Anybody?
Let Jarv go because I'm
Jarv. Yeah.
Same path as you did. Machine guns, like Xenophage going back to OG.
Exactly.
Gonna polish that bad boy off. Might even go back to Warmind cells and create some pretty explosive builds at this point.
We get the Jarv Warfare cell builds again.
Yeah, mate. I feel like it's long overdue. Nice buff as well to machine guns. Did tweet today that they should probably bring back super good advice. I feel like that would be pretty good.
I saw that tweet.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice with a 40% buff. But yeah, I feel like that'd be good. I don't know if they'll be meta. It's hard to know because like they angle certain weapons to be good at certain things. And I feel like machine guns are very much just that good utility ad clearing kind of weapon, and it isn't supposed to be something that you just plow into a boss, right? So it's like I feel like that could be good and change up a little bit. Maybe see a little less linears next season because of it. But
yeah,
it depends what the champion mods are going to be, I guess, at that point.
Always is, yeah. We won't go down that rabbit hole. What about you, Cog? Any major shout outs from the TWAB?
Yeah, couple of standouts. Leviathan's Breath is going to be serious. Very
Still
happy.
don't know if that's going to be enough for me to make me pick it up.
I actually like it. I'm one of the few that use it. And I like the potential of it, but the catalyst, what they was doing was just not enough. So I want to see what that does. They went hard at in-air accuracy. They went hard. And now it's about, you're going to spec this thing hard if you choose to really play that way. So you got that. And shout out to Fallout. He had me laugh. He's like, I watched one of his videos. He's like, yeah, for all you guys that say get headshots, let's see it now.
Yeah. We're about to get some skill checks.
We're gonna see how nice certain people are. They say in PvP that I got headshots all the time because they really didn't affect that the other stuff. So you got that machine guns like Jarv said. Oh, machine gun! I really want to use a lot of machine guns. I was a little disappointed that I don't feel they touched 360s. I feel like 360 machine guns. They're really
the buff.
They're getting the buff, but I want to see how the classes of the machine guns differentiate themselves. And I hope Thunderlord gets shout out to Xenophage. I like that. And
Grand Overture might be fun.
Yeah, and I think it's in the prediction, or I'm going to ask you this because I was going to. Are we predicting it's leaning Solar 3.0 next season?
Most people tend to think that's pretty much guaranteed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feels like
I would say so. Yeah.
Overall, I'm excited. I think the stability and the stability stat, I think was affecting one of them affecting flinch.
Flinch, stability, and then stability on your guns and resilience on your character. Both will affect flinch.
I like that because to me it now has a defining role. If you want to play a certain style, I don't mind it. So look, let's see how it lands. Though it sounds good on paper, we gotta see how it lands. But I was excited. I like what I saw.
Yeah,
when we did the.
Oh, go
ahead. You go ahead.
Nope, you good.
I was going to say, like when we did on Tuesday's stream, when we were talking about this, and you touched on it just briefly then, like speccing into stuff. Like for me, like for Crucible, I just always put on what I deemed my best stuff or the meta stuff, right? But I'm not really speccing into a way or a build. Yeah, you play a certain way, but it's not a build. So like, it's going to be probably our first opportunity to actually properly spec into something. Like if you want to be a floofy warlock and flying around, then yeah, spec into it. You're just going to need to hit your shots, like, and that's going to be a first. And naturally, that's going to hurt initially because I guess a lot of what we've had before, especially with like Stompies, I think was a big standpoint.
Yeah. Oh, they came for Hunters hard.
Yeah, which I get. So it's going to hurt. But then if you want to play that way, then you can, but you're just going to need to spec into it. And build crafting and theory crafting has probably been the best it's been up until this point. I feel I'm using elemental wells more than ever at this point. And I'm really expanding on what we do and playing in different ways. And I feel like we're going to start seeing that a bit more in Crucible, which should be interesting. It could be frustrating at points, but that's probably going to be part of like knocking the nails back down in the wood when we do the 3.0 reworks, right? There's going to be a few standouts always, but
oh yeah, for me, I was just going to say Graviton Lance. At some point, I'm going to have a reason to pull out that gun. So hopefully, it's got some potentials. They were adding a little bit more to the Catalyst. I think was going to give it a little bit more.
Vorpal turnabout, got rid of the hidden hand.
Yep.
So, yeah, thank God the Monarch got nerfed a little bit. I was happy. And my Lord of Wolves, it was a good run. I don't know if it's over, but it don't look good for me. I thought I was going to slip through another 12.
Yeah, no, that's
they got me. They got me. I'm busted. I got locked up.
So, obviously, yeah, massive TWAB last week. If you haven't read it and you want some reading material for like 7 trips to the bathroom, that'll take care of you for a little while. But we've got Guardian Games officially announced this week for, obviously it's been leaked already, but officially dropped it in the TWAB and starts Tuesday, goes for 3 weeks until the end of the season. We're actually coming up on the last 3 weeks of the season, so the time is there, actually. Just as before, you're going to be earning medals. You're going to be earning medallions for those medals, and you're going to be trading in your, what are they called? Combatant cards. Why am I thinking? Yeah, platinum cards, contender cards, and all those things just like before. It does sound like they're going to get a lot of the activities. Raids, dungeons, competitive, legendary psyops, battlegrounds, lost sectors. A lot of things are going to be mixed in. Sounds like they're involving a lot more with regards to activities, which is good. But I would say one of the first ones, strike scoring's back. So I wanted to get your guys' take on strike scoring. So there's going to be 2 Guardian Games playlists for strike scoring. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is your training playlist. Kind of practice up, see how high you can get for your entire fire team. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's your time to get sweaty in the competitive strike scoring playlist. Get as high as you can. Get the rewards you can. Get all the buffs you're going for. So what do you guys think? Are you excited to see strike scoring back? What do you guys think? Anybody going to be looking for those cheesy builds real fast?
I'll let the guests go first.
I don't mind it. I just wish it was here all the time, though.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was taken out in the first place. But anyway, it's a good addition. It's a good change. And it has its own benefits, right? You hit certain thresholds, you know, like torches in the tower and cool little bonus boxes, get sweet little armor glows. Because it depends how good the glows are, but then that's just the case of, you know, it's just cosmetic and temporary anyway, and you're gonna have to do that each week, so it's no real big deal. I just wish there was like I wish there was more glows on a weekly basis actually outside of events. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna do a master raid or go flawless in trials, like I mean trials has glows, but like but you know what I mean? Just a cosmetic, just a little weekly thing. Like we used to have with the little Nightfall.
The Nightfall little thing. Halo that all that far back.
But yeah, anyway, it's I think strike scoring's good. There's a lot of cool medals in there actually. It's going to change the way that we play, and it's going to people are going to be leaning more into builds much more now, just for laurels. Got to still create those laurels to get those contender cards. So while some activities might be fast for medals, there might not be enough for you to earn enough laurels to buy a contender card to get a platinum or gold. So it's a toss up between how long does an activity take, how ad intensive is it, and am I likely to get enough laurels, and are you running with the same class? Because ultimately you need to try and stick with the same class to get as many laurels as you can. So just a few things to bear in mind if you're jumping in anyway. Stick with the same classes, get those builds, and elemental wells, might as well make the most of those. Yeah, man. I've been trying to figure out the best way to do it, and I can't really make it out. I thought Master Lost Sectors might be the play, but actually, the more I think about it, I feel like actually you get medals for each encounter in raids and dungeons. So am I just going to farm Templar for medals and then just get Atheon for completions just to get the contender card done? Like, is that what it's going to mean? I don't advocate that, but that might be the cheesiest way to do it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to see between the bounties listed, the medals, the contender cards, what it's going to take to kind of get all those and how much of a reset they're on and that type of stuff. So we'll just have to kind of play it by ear a little bit. What about you two gentlemen? Anything, just even strike scoring? Does that sound like something fun to bring you guys back for, looking to mix it up, or could not care at all? Hold on. I gotta go Travis's snicker here.
I just strike scoring, man. I don't understand strikes. I really don't.
You don't want to sweat out in a competitive playlist, bro?
A competitive
get
playlist?
Mega sweaty in PvE?
Who am I competing against?
Get the top 10%, you get an emblem, bro. Like, oh my god.
Bro,
I feel like when I play strikes, I'm competing against my own patience. Is my adversary really is who I'm fighting against? I've never really gotten strikes doing the exact same activity over and over again. But I will say to their credit, strike scoring is at least like an interesting end game kind of way to mix it up. That gives if people were playing strikes every week to try to get the highest score, I would kind of get it, because I get like speed running and being competitive and trying to like improve your times and that sort of stuff. I don't really understand the brain of a person like my friend Brian Malkowitz, who that's all he does is he just jumps into the strike playlist, and I'm like, who are you? Like, I don't know. What are you doing? Like, that's what you do. You just log on to Destiny and you just hop in the strike playlist. That to me, the mindset that does that is like is on the spectrum somewhere. I don't know what part of it, but they're not all there. Yeah, I guess the thing I've not really enjoyed about guarding games so far is that they don't really add anything. They're just like, hey, do the same activities you've already done, but this time do it for the glory of your class. And the first year I did it a ton because I was like, yeah, Titans rule, we got to win this. But then after we won, I sort of was just like, the second year I was like, I'm sick of this. I don't want to do it again. So I would love it if they gave some specific unique activity or reason to log on and do something. So if strike playlist and scoring is on the menu, I'll give it a try, man. I'm, whatever. I'm not usually in for strikes, but it is something different. So I'm not going to knock it until I try it. But yeah, just generally speaking, anytime they say, hey, Travis, you're going to do strikes, I'm like, dude, please don't make me. I don't want to. I don't want to. So how about you, Cog?
Definitely on the other side. Well, D1, I don't know what it is. I understand your question of it. I don't know what it is. It's just a visual incentive. It's just like, I don't know, it's just something that just makes my mind go, ooh,
psychological
orbs.
Triggers of joy.
Yeah, like it was just, I remember when they added it, and at first I kind of had the mindset like, what's this? Like, what's the why? You know what I'm saying? Kind of thing. But then as you play strikes, and I think what it is, I think strikes is kind of like the chill activity with your friends. Like, not to name drop, but like there are a lot of executives or gaming developers I know that want to play, that do play Destiny, right? And that's all they want to do. Like, they just want to get in there, put some strikes, and just chill out. And I think it's just more of a, I'm playing with my friends, in this non-stressful
like
situation.
Social vibe, chill situation.
You'll be surprised. Like, there's a lot of people that do that. And
I know there are. I just
like
don't
60%
understand
of
who
the
these
player
people
base,
are.
right?
It's for us. After a while, it's like, all right, enough, right? But for some people, they will live in that playlist, and they loved when the strike scoring was there, and they love now that Bungie does the longer you stay in it, the more chance you
Strike
get
incentive,
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. So yeah, it's just like a little fun little thing for me, and I just like the incentive of it. And then you talk a little smack. I think for me, it's always Destiny. There's a game within the game, and the game within the game for me is the either the post, red, and counter report. When you look at everybody DPS and who ain't doing what they supposed to be.
How many people did you kill? Why did I have to carry you through the strike? Like, what are you doing? Get off your butt.
It's the mini game of Destiny on the PvE side that people at the end are like, bro, I carried you. Look at all I had, 254. Look at all the streaks I had. People
You're
want to have
the type of person who wants like a little like post boss kill to show DPS numbers. Not just on death. You want to see it on kill because you're like, yeah, we got through that, but thanks to me. You want those bragging rights.
You can tell he does that now. You can tell he finishes the strike. I'm like, yo, I got 200 kills. I got like 100 precision kills, and then like I created the most orbs. Like, I carried these guys, man. Oh,
and I had to be revived 80 times because my dumbass was too far in front.
Yeah, it's the game within the game. You got to talk a little smack, and to me, there's nothing. Like again, I know we talking strikes, but there's nothing more fun. Like DJs in the chat, louder Back for Dead, Forte. To me, there's a secret part of me that loves when we lose a Razor counter, can't take a Rolk or whatever, and it's just a silence, and the death screen comes up.
Yeah,
and you look at the DPS and you say, bro, what was you do? What are you using?
You just calling people out in raids, be like, all right, hold on, I've got to inspect you. Nobody move. We've got to do an inspection and we've got to do an intervention right now.
Yes, it's great.
My excuse is I'm always the divinity dad.
Right here, yeah.
You good?
That's my excuse. If I come like fifth, I've got questions.
Oh yeah, if my divinity out DPSs you, we gotta talk. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. But yeah, strike
sometimes you learn. Not to keep going with this, but sometimes you learn. I think it was what was it when Focusing Lens came out?
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at somebody's DPS. And I was like, how are you doing all like they were lapping me? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what are you? And I learned about Focusing Lens. Yo, they going crazy.
No, DJ had the best one. He's like, Travis, are you using guns with ammo?
That is a direct quote from me during a raid. After we lost, I talked to somebody and I was like, "Hey, this game has guns in it. You can point them at things and shoot them." And the guy was just like pissed. He was like, "Oh, you
savage!"
Oh, that is
It's savage. I love it.
I think it'll be fun. I'll be curious to see if because there used to be like rainbow, get kills with all different types of damage or all weapons, or I'll be curious what the strategies are that people come up with because people are going to be like, all right, here's how you run a strike. Best things, running, parent, everybody's running. That's the stuff I'll be kind of curious to see. So more than anything, and the main reason is you've actually got a reason to be competitive for Travis's sake. But there's going to be a leaderboard. So the top 10% at the end of the event, so you'll take your top for week 1, week 2, and week 3 and combine all those scores together, and the top 10% of all Guardians are going to get an emblem. And while the little square one is just Guardian games, all the little banner flags actually looks really cool on the big wide one because they changed this one. Oh, good. We got some fun people coming in chat. There we go. Yep. But we've also got a new weapon, which I'm assuming is going to be coming from what it describes, the competitive, the rewards, and those things. We've got a new weapon for this one. Heir Apparent's still going to be there. I will scream it out now. Please, make sure. Get Heir Apparent, get the Catalyst, do it in this Guardian games, because if there's ever been a time to have a machine gun, Season 17 is going to be it. So do not sleep on Heir Apparent. Please get that weapon. That being said, we're also getting a new SMG. It's called the Title. And it will be a Hawkeye Void SMG, aggressive frame, and it's got a unique origin perk, Classy Contender, which grants class ability energy on final blows with this weapon. It's got a lot of perks, but it sounds like we're going to be able to masterwork it, get double perks in the 3rd and 4th column. Again, I'm guessing the high levels, the high scores, all tie into that. People have been talking about with the meta shift literally last week saying shotguns are being reined in a little bit, fusions are being reined in a little bit. I've heard some of the PvP people going... Sidearms, SMGs are going to have some potential in that alternative slot. Yeah, sure. SMGs. So this is not one to sleep on. Aggressive frames are going to be your 750s, kind of like Ikelos, Extraordinary Rendition, those type of style. So depending on if you can manage the stability, the range usually is going to be decent on it. But overall,
there's no recoil on PC. There's no stability needed.
that's why, again, for us, like, I'm good. Grab all the range I can get on some of these things. But in theory, though, like, there's people who are leaning so heavily into class abilities lately with the Warlock rifts and all the stuff you guys can do there. Loreley Helm and all our barricades for Titans. We've been having a lot of fun. Dodges and invisibility. The class ability seems like it does have more potential than I would say it has in quite a while, especially with Void 3.0. So just getting specifically class ability on like Wellspring that spreads it. But if you focus on a class ability and you really are good with an SMG, I'm sure you could lean into that class ability even more. Am I crazy, or do you guys think that actually has any potential?
I actually jump in and agree with New Red. I do feel it's a little gimmicky, but it depends on how substantial the gain is. If it's like, I feel Demolitionist is okay. The one I actually I'm upset with a little bit. Tell me if you agree with this, Jarv. How do you feel about Wellspring's gains on the kills? I don't know. I always feel like it's low. So I don't know. I just look at it like I just hope it's not such a small percentage based on the fact that I know the last update, they were very conscientious about ability uptime and usage, and
then we got Void 3.0.
And then we got Void 3.0.
Yeah. And then they added 60-second cooldowns onto like Axiom bolts, right? So it's like
bruh.
I mean, the Wellspring is low, but then that's because it's split across 3 abilities, so that kind of makes sense. The mobility cooldowns or the class ability cooldowns tend to be less than grenade anyway, so I would probably say that it's going to be lower than Demolitionist in that sense, but more than Wellspring. It's going to be like this middle ground, I would say. I even dust off the Promethean Spur for the Warlock and just put rifts absolutely everywhere.
I didn't think about that.
At this point,
crazy. Yeah, that's a good build.
But yeah, I imagine it'd be somewhere in the middle. It could be good though. Void SMG, but is it enough? Probably for a free event, probably is. I don't mean there's not much else I expected. You get your first one from the quest and pick it up from Eva Levante, then I guess additional drops drop from medals that you hand in at the podium in the tower. That's generally how
this is the secret inside scoop information you got right here. This is he's like, I know how to get this quest. Do you have all the steps for the quest already
There's one quest that's got 18 steps that runs for 3 weeks. That runs the whole course of the event. There's multiple quests. There's an exotic quest for Heir Apparent, but it's only like a 2-part quest. Yeah, easy. And then there's a separate one for the Catalyst, which I assume you get after if you've got the exotic, whether you've got it already or whether you're getting it for the first time. So there is a lot of quests there. There is a lot of steps, but for the Guardian Games ones at least, the opening quest is pretty short. But that should give us our first. But that's always the case. It's about this is what Guardian Games is. It's the introductory quest for new players, which makes sense. This is how it works. This is how you get loot, and this is what you need to chase, sort of thing. So it is what it is. I mean, like free events, I don't think they're going to evolve too much over time. It's time versus cost investment, isn't it? From a Bungie standpoint, it's primarily pushing Eververse and how much revenue that generates.
Yep.
I mean, they won't say that, but that's what free events are. So, but I don't mind. I mean, I want to look like a badass. Like the armor looks awesome.
That's what I wanted to actually just ask you guys. So, which armor? I want rankings. I'm going to start with Travis, Jarv, and Cog. I want to know rank the Guardian Games armor number 1, number 2, number 3. Travis.
Ooh. Okay, let me pull them up again so I can refresh my.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. We got these are all pretty good.
Pull up real quick.
Honestly, I'm gonna go with Titan. I know that sounds biased, but like I don't know if it's maybe this Titan is so confident with their hands on their hips like that. Like they're just
got that stance.
Command, but I like that power stance. But it's actually a sleek Titan armor, which we don't see a whole lot. It's showy, but not too showy, if you know what I mean. Hashtag hunters. And yeah. I don't know. I like it. I think that's probably my favorite one. These are all pretty good, though. We'll see if they actually end up.
What's your number
like
2? What's your number 2?
Number 2. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Warlocks for number 2, and then
Okay.
3 for Hunters. Hunters are just a little gaudy. You know? A little gaudy to me.
I just thought it was underwhelming. Anyway, Jarv. 1, 2, 3.
I would say Warlock, Titan, Hunter. Personally,
Cog?
I'm not a big fan of the Hunter helmet. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, it
me
kind of looks
neither.
Titany for a Hunter, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
just
A
me.
little robotic.
Going. I love the Warlock. I don't know how I feel about the helmet, but overall, I'm biased. Yes, Warlock. I actually like the Hunter. I like the
No accounting for taste, I guess.
I don't mind. I like the showy. I'm jealous of Hunter hoods. I'm jealous. I think it's cool. And I like the Titan suit too. It's not like the Titan's bad. I like it too. It's a unique take. I don't know how I feel about that loincloth. I don't know how I feel.
You know what? You know what it is? I figured out why I don't like the Hunter helmet.
Tell me.
It looks like a sweeper bot. It does. It looks like the sweeper bot's head.
It do if you really look at it. If you go beyond the hood,
doesn't it?
it do.
Yeah,
with the blue joint.
that's what I think of. I'm like, oh look, it's a sweeper bot in Hunter armor. Anyway, go ahead. Go on. Sorry.
No, that was it. That was it.
It was Warlock, Titan, Hunter.
Okay. So
Yeah, no, the Warlock helm is just fire along with the big, just like the way they have the tone down the middle. Titan looks pretty good, and Titan was close to me. The honestly, the Hunter wasn't. It was like Titan Hunter or Titan or Warlock and Titan are like real close. Personally, like I like them both. Hunter like way down here. Like I didn't think the Hunter was close to the other two. Personally, whatever reason, like you've got you've got a lot of the red. You got almost like Tron look for the Titan. The Warlock, you've got like the yellow down the middle. I love the shape of the helm for whatever reason from the angle it's at. Maybe it's going to look weird. And then the Hunter just looks like Gray Hunter. And I don't know why. It just does not do it for me.
Interesting.
I think the Hunter's quite safe, isn't it? I feel like it looks like
fair.
a lot of other armor
That's fair.
that Hunters, with like the Titan, like Trav said, it's actually quite a lean set. Is that compared to like
That's true.
the Rhino sets from Leviathan? You know, you don't chunky boys.
Chunky boy.
It's quite different in that aspect, and it's nice. Quite like it. And the Warlock, it's just whether they shade well.
Yes.
No,
Yeah,
they look good as
true.
they are, but everyone wants to put their own spin on them, and because cloth and actual armor shade differently, so proof is in the pudding. We ain't got long to wait, so
Yeah.
We're gonna see.
But yeah, there was a very interesting little chart that came out. So again, they're going to try and balance out the days, the bonuses, and the boost you get for points because Hunters, Warlocks, and Titans, they had the numbers here on the chart. I think it is absolutely hilarious. On March 5th, there is a drop in Hunters, there's a smidgely drop in Titans, and a large boost in Warlocks. What happened on March 5th that everybody felt like they needed their safe class to play? Raid. That is the raid day, and the next day, down. Day one Raiders bringing Warlocks in there. And then they turn around and they go back to PvP. That is 100% well of Radiance. I can almost guarantee it.
Definitely the well.
they quickly realized we don't need well.
Yep. Yeah.
Everyone runs well in that raid.
Yeah, and then after that. But yeah, it's very funny. Titans never get above 30. Warlocks sitting in that like, just under 35. And Hunters never drop under 35. And then Titans are down here. We're holding down the minority. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, holding it down at the bottom.
Notice this slight uptick in Hunters when GM's launched as well. Everyone getting in Viz. Getting their Conquerors and stuff. So, like, I wouldn't run anything than a Hunter in Lightblade, for example.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So,
watching Fallout try and do that thing solo is just, I don't think he ever got it done. I think he's on
watched Leopard earlier, bro. He was like got the boss down to like 5% health. He'd been in there 3 hours, bro. And he gone messed up a little bit at the end and wiped after 3 hours.
See, okay, like I saw Dado tweet something and say this is gonna derail us. I don't know. He tweeted something that says like, "Do I need to do a video over like the acute burn stuff? Is that like a discussion we need to have?" I know you've probably done GMs. I soloed Arms Dealer because it's you can cheese the boss, but I still got to the end of it. But then I was working on trying to solo Glassway, and I got to the boss room, and I found a little like cheese nook that you could go in because you can at least get a second to breathe in there. But just the like instant delete, and I feel I used to solo Nightfalls very frequently. That was like one of the things I love doing in D1. I haven't done that as much, and even less so with this type of stuff. One Titan seems to be the worst class to do it on, but that's a different story. But it is now with the acute burns, if like a double splash damage is like near you, you're toast. And I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on just where you think GMs are at. If you're, I mean, granted, you made easy work of Master Vows, so they may not be a big deal to you, but I was curious, what's your thoughts on just kind of where those acute burns on GMs, do you like them, not like them, or where are you at on GMs in general?
I mean, much like the Master Raids, man, they just rely so much on champions. Acute burns aside, like, honestly. Especially with Glassway, my goodness, the amount of overloads in that is just absurd.
Like 12 overloads in that final or something ridiculous, or 8.
One thing we haven't talked about, which I think's bad change, is the fact that they took away the revives from Lucent Hive. Like, you know, when we first got GMs and it was like 3 revives for getting a Lucent Hive down. It's like, yeah, it's a Guardian. Yeah. Bonus revives. And then they like, yeah, that was a bug.
Wow.
Livid, bro. Couldn't believe it. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're trying to solo it, but like, I don't know, man. I feel like they are so much better than champions and more difficult because they pop their super, throw like one shield at you, you're a goner. Like, literally it.
True threat.
They're far more lethal. Even like two revives, because you have to kill it and then you have to crush the ghost, right?
Yeah. So you have to play position too.
So yeah, just quickly touching on that while we're talking about GMs, is for me that's a bad change.
Also, please don't. I'm gonna say it probably every time. Please don't do overload auto rifle SMG. It's awful. Overload's already annoying enough. I don't need to train to have to hit it 12 times. Like I've been sitting there unloading in a GM with an entire clip. There goes the health. Just
so demoralizing.
And on the plus side, we probably have some of the hardest GMs in rotation all in one season. Like Corrupted isn't as hard as it used to be after some of the changes they made to Cydia and stuff like that. So moving forward, you'd like to think, but then that is a cute burn their way of like actually just turning the dial up a little bit to make them more challenging later down the line. They might feel bad now for things like Light Blade. And Birthplace of the Vile, I didn't feel was too bad. We just completely just burst damaged the boss and then just got teleported away and didn't have to deal with ads. Like that seemed like the easiest way to do it. And then we just waited by the portal to get our supers back, jump through, and then just thunder crash him like 3 times and then go back. But
that makes sense.
There's no when you don't have time to react to anything. And travel, no, like we can get cheesy loadouts in Crucible where someone's just one banging you with Ariana's Vow and you don't have the time to react. It doesn't feel fun. The fun factor's gone because you can't react or counter it in a way if you don't get if you don't see it first. And from a PvE perspective, when you just get in sometimes you don't even see it. It just comes out of nowhere, and then you get like this replay or some silhouette of something that killed you, like that's behind 3 walls. It's like, where did that come from then? And it's like, it doesn't feel. It takes the fun factor out of it a little bit. I mean, fun in GMs is probably pushing it a little bit because it is more of the challenge rather than the fun element. But yeah, I'm not a massive fan because there's not a great way for us to counteract that, even with mods on armor. Like it doesn't do enough. So
yeah, the fact that you can just, as you said, like the idea of, I don't mind something difficult to a level. Like, if you get out of position, you get hit a couple times, your health's going to be low, but you get a second to maybe react, get in a cover at all. But if a Minotaur walks around the corner, it's like, bam, bam, I'm like, and you're done. Your entire run is wiped. And especially on GMs, depending on how patient you are, depending on how many you're running with, it's going to be 20 minutes, or if you're going solo, it's like an hour to get back to the same point just to try it again. It's frustrating. So, shout out real quick.
Overloads would just teleport, won't they? They would just teleport.
Teleport, that's the other thing,
intentionally and unintentionally. I mean, Birthplace of the Vile is the worst. You've got an unstoppable there on your left, and then suddenly he's like 30 meters on your right. And
Very
everyone, like, if you run it regularly, people know that. Like, wait a second, he's just gonna glitch over there.
Oh, yeah,
And
I
it
was
shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, on the Glassway, the moving, because I spent way too much time going through that by myself, and it was the sniper boss, the sniper like boss guy in like the third section as you're working through kind of the cavern. The way he would like jump off the lower tier down into the abyss, but then warp up to the other side.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is not right movement. This is so messed up. Shout out real quick to Tactics, I think, maybe, or yeah, something like that for the $5 super chat. Sorry, I mispronounced your name, but thank you for the $5 super chat and the support. Appreciate it. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of get your take on those because I've been trying to actually see. I'm not gonna solo Lightblade. I don't even know if I'm gonna get Lightblade done. If I get close to doing some other GMs, might have to see about your help on a couple. But just the feeling of the Acute, the cap on it and stuff. It just, even contest mode in the raid does not feel as just instant dead as I think the Acute burn in GMs do. It's at the point of unfun to me. I did want to ask you on a separate thing though. Are you part of the Guardian Games Cup? Are you in this thing? You can't say. Okay, we'll just move on. So
moving on.
Basically what's happening is the
NBA.
Guardian Games Cup is going to be 42 teams across 14 territories, dunking it out to see why Titans are best. I do appreciate that line, Leona.
Jaws face says it all.
Sorry for the direct question. But apparently it sounds like, and you guys can tell me if I'm reading this wrong, just from the hosts, because I'm going to let our guest be quiet for a second. It seems like there's going to be teams of Guardians like basically competing to kind of just be the best team over the course of the event, it sounds like. Back from the dead, please don't say that again. That's awful.
That's he's a fool. Shut the back.
I mean, it's not an inaccurate description.
No, I know. Yep,
It's definitely not inaccurate. That is true.
But did you guys read this as basically, I know they say in real life, but it's basically real life Guardians as a 3-person fire team trying to be like the best during the course of the games. Do you guys think this is just like them trying to get the highest scoring, multiple events? What do you guys think? I'm not asking Jarv because I'm trying not to let him maintain some.
What I will say, which is what they've said, is that it's an opportunity to raise money for a great cause.
There it is.
Regardless of the objectives involved. So whether you're part of it or whether you're not, everyone can engage with it in some way. So yeah, any streamer coming near you, whether it be here or elsewhere, then definitely, if you've got any spare funds, then they will go to Direct Relief, which is a fantastic cause. So,
Got it.
I've got a question.
I was going to ask how it is raising money. Like, what
yeah.
are they asking for donations? But it's streamers are giving the profits from their.
I think it's just donations.
If it's Direct Relief, it'll be through the Direct Relief links.
Yep.
So
Gotcha.
it'll go straight. So it won't go to anyone that's participating in it, whether they be part of a team. So it'll go directly to Direct Relief, and
Got it.
The teams are merely the face to help to engage the community with the event, I guess, at that point.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there are some donation prizes, could be random if you do up to a certain level, not sure yet. They'll probably get a little more detail next week once it starts. For the donation prizes, one of them is going to be a piece of artwork from Furion Art. If you guys haven't seen his art, it's always fire.
Beast.
And then the winning team gets a custom digital piece by Gamma Trap, who we had on the show a while ago.
Homie. We got to get Gamma back. For him too.
Amazing artists, both of those. If you guys haven't seen them, please check both of those out. Incredible artists. There's so many in the community, but yeah, those are two legit ones for sure that I'm aware of. So, season 17 got a little preview. A huge surprise. The pursuit weapon is a machine gun. It looks very similar to the Swarm, so it might be one of the slower firing ones, as you were saying. Cog could fit in that style. Feels like it's going to be that way. You're going to have your different skins for Crucible, Gambit, Vanguard. The playlist weapons, we're going to get a Crucible fusion rifle called Riptide. We're going to get a Gambit shotgun called Deadweight, which there's a lot of jokes in that one, I'm sure, but I just can't come up with all of them right now. And then Vanguard, we get the Strident Whistle Bow. I love bows, so please give me a solar bow because we are in dire need of a solar legendary
Badly.
bow. So hopefully the Vanguard one is solar or craftable or all of the above. Nightfall drops. We got a couple throwbacks. We got the Horror's Least Pulse Rifle, kind of like your Darkest Before. It is an arc rapid fire frame. And then the DFA. I have not heard that in years, man. Throwback. That is a kinetic 140 hand cannon. I don't even remember the name of the strike that was in.
Yeah, I never got
Three
it.
of probabilities.
3 of probabilities, yes.
3 of probabilities. Yeah.
those will
The
be coming back.
worst Grandmaster Nightfall ever.
Oh, I hated that strike.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, that's a shame.
That's
Wait.
probably worse than Lightblade.
Hold on, refresh me.
That's
Jarvis
the big
Trav.
Cabal boss with the 3-phase room, the 3 rooms that
Oh
you
no,
work through.
no. Oh no, it was the other one. What was the other one called that was on Mercury?
The one you're talking about is Garden of Garden World?
Garden World.
Yeah,
Garden
That's
World.
the worst one I've heard.
That's the
not
worst.
an
Yeah,
eyeball.
that's the worst. Oh,
Which one is that? What's the boss at the end?
That's
Giant
the
eyeball,
big-
Cyclops.
Eyeball with the rotating in
Yeah,
the
it's the
thing.
big Cyclops
And
rotation.
Oh yeah, that was rough. Yeah.
it was
Jesus.
rough.
Yeah, that one.
rough.
I remember people would sit up in that one little nook and just sit there and plink away for forever,
Mhm.
just to try and like hope to not die. And you'd have 2 people dead on the floor somewhere, and the guy just hoping to get shots off somewhere. Yeah, Garden
Mhm.
World, Void Burn still gives you. Yeah, it's just
Ooh,
awful.
Yeah, back is right.
But
You
Tree of
know.
Probabilities, it's the one with the Cabal where you'd kind of like do the little sparrow piece through and the 3 phases for the boss room.
Yes.
So that's where that one
Crushes
came
like
from.
Vex. Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
And then Trials is going to
Mhm.
have a sidearm called Forgiveness. And then the Burden of Guilt, also another fusion rifle. Messenger and Shire's Wrath will be leaving the Season 17 pools. So if you want those, get those now. Now is your time to make sure you guys get those. And then also the
Palindrome's leaving as well.
Which one?
Palindrome.
Palindrome's
Pally,
leaving.
yeah, Pally's leaving. Yeah.
And then also for like your standard playlist weapons like Crisis Inverted, which I don't think anybody likes, Arrowed Sea Auto Rifle from Gambit, the Vanguard Shotgun Fortissimo, which just kind of got its special little perk nerfed. That's the stuff. So
Yeah.
you got a few weeks left before we basically get into, full speed Season 17. What I wanted to ask you guys is, I know Guardian Games is coming. That'll have some fun for a little bit. This season was about 4 weeks long for Season of the Risen, and then we've had a little downtime, and then it was like more difficult stuff. Where do you guys feel Destiny is in a state when a lot of the developers have been like, yo, Bungie, and next season they've been talking about the narrative, and they're really excited about what's coming for the narrative? That's 4 weeks, that goes. You got a break before Grandmasters, but if you don't love if you don't love hard content, especially, some do, some don't, where do you guys feel is that when Destiny is now post-season, if the seasons are going to stay these 4 weeks? So you go through the 4 weeks, which, we've had talks of maybe the shorter season's good, so the activities don't get repetitive. Yeah, it's like you only do it 4 weeks, and then, feels like it's not overstayed its welcome. Where do you guys think, because this was a question from earlier, where do you guys think Destiny is in a state? Is it in a state where, I don't know, anybody want to take it? I just wanted to see these in-between moments of like, where are you at in week 6, week 8, week 10 before we get the new season? Where do you feel Destiny's at in those states? Not like brand new season, but late season.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've spoken a lot on how I love it. I think, I value my time. I don't like repeating the same activities over and over again. And I also think it sort of belabors the point if your story takes like 12 weeks to tell, and it's just like, okay, when are we going to get to that thing? Like, let's just do it. So I thought that this was one of the stronger seasons in terms of story. And then the cool thing about it being over quickly was there was no pressure. I didn't have to log on every week, or I would miss a week and be behind on the story. It was sort of like, all right, I'll log on when they got Iron Banner or Trials or something that I want to play. And when I don't want to play it, I won't play it. And I just felt like the lack of anxiety or the FOMO that kind of sometimes gestates within a Destiny player is good to not have around, because I can play Destiny when I want to and not play it when I don't. It's been good, man. I got the raid exotic this week.
Let's go.
Skyfall.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, I'm
Are you
slowly
going to
but
use
surely
it though?
getting
Because
It's
I
like
don't know
one of
anyone
the
else
more,
that does.
Absolutely
one of the more
not.
convoluted weapons I've ever seen. When you try and even read the
Bro.
description, you're like, I don't even know what I just read. Can
Yeah.
I get a physics degree to try and understand what I just read? Like,
Very
I
build specific.
I really hope they give that. Somebody actually meant something about that as well. I cannot remember who said it in chat, so if it's one of you guys who are in there now, I apologize. That exotic is so Void 3.0 specific. It feels like it should have been Season of the Risen type exotic or something else. And then like Lubre's Ruin should have potentially been the exotic, a good exotic glaive, because that's literally the boss's weapon. And then we get this random Void 3.0. So it just, somebody mentioned that and I was like, that is 100%. Yeah, I agree with that one. But yeah, I got the exotic a few weeks. I haven't even fired the thing yet because I know it's just a mess. It is an absolute mess. See, I got the worst raid weapon early.
Speaking of which,
finally.
Sorry, go ahead, Trav.
No, I was just saying, there you go. You finally got that weapon you wanted.
Oh yeah, see, that's your RNG for the Vex. There you go. I'm sorry. It's too soon. It was too soon.
The pain, you can see it.
I'm sorry. I may have been too soon, but yeah, like I forgot to mention as far as the buffs from the Eyes of Tomorrow. I was thinking about Trav on this. That looked like got a nice little substantial chunk, man. Because
I was 30% on
because 30% on bosses or something like that.
So
but maybe it'll be worth the
champions.
pain.
Maybe I can't remember what it was.
Champion, got it, Jarv.
That's because I think Era made a video on it. I think I made one as well. But like, it did 30% less damage against champions and bosses. So it should do what it should have done to begin with, which means it should be good.
And to your point, Joe, the reason why I'm excited, not to cut you, the reason why I'm very excited, one, the pain it took for so many to get it. Trav, apologies. He's oh god, well,
80 runs.
80 runs. DJ's in there, no doubt. Yeah, 80. 80. And I know people in that same situation that for whatever reason, the RNG was definitely busted with that one. But for me, what kind of, because it was so hard to get there when I finally got it, and I'm not gonna lie, Joe, like when Galley came out, I'm like, I'm never gonna use. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm never going to use it. Because I'm like,
no.
So now it gives me hope because I always feel raid exclusive exotics should have that kick. Like, Taraba should be dominant. You know, Vex should be somewhat dominant. And, yeah, I like
raids should have something that's worth going at.
So let's stop it.
No.
Nice, we moving on.
1K voices. No.
I still haven't got 1K yet. DJ's in there. He probably wants to run it right after we do this. Yeah, so I don't have got it. But it is, I was happy about that. So I just want to talk about raid exotics.
All right, so
the only exotic I'm missing is that helmet. I got to get you to tell me the next time the Lost Sector is helmets.
Yes.
So I can run
if
it.
I see it, I have a schedule. I'll send it to you, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, I think every season, like I end up forgetting about the Lost Sector exotic, and then I just ask you to like text me when it happens, and I'm like, oh, I got a reminder.
I'm gonna send you a schedule after this. Just remind me to send you a schedule, and then you can put reminders on your calendar, so I don't have to. Deal?
Yeah, but no, I think you should. I like this premium service that you're offering. You should offer it to all your followers on YouTube and Twitter. Like, just say,
here is calendar, you schedule. Yeah. Here, I need your direct phone number so you get mine when I text you. There's nothing wrong with this situation at all.
I love our relationship, E. I think it's great, and it's one directional, most importantly.
Wow.
Totally beneficial to Trav. Salute.
Yeah, I'm crushing it out here.
He's so stupid. He's question.
Anyway.
You know,
seasons.
Seasons. I like it. I'm fine. I'm good. You know, you get to catch up. You get to break away. I think I wanted to talk more about not directly what you wanted to talk about, but kind of more about. I wanted to kind of pivot to how I envision next season. Yeah. And I think obviously they're excited about the narrative. They're excited at Bungie tweeting from the mountaintops. I get it. I'm more excited about the combination of another 3.0 and the dungeon. That's a lot of meat.
It's a multiplayer map.
And some maps.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say the words Crucible map and Destiny 2 in the same sentence?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is where me and Travel realign, and I have to go against Jarv on one thing, which is as great as Witch Queen is, and we love it. Narrative storytelling at its absolute finest. Witch Queen is pinnacle, raid for the most part solid. But those other modes, you know, namely PvP. So just to see a little nurture, a little love, a little care towards it, because I still feel as a whole, that Destiny still needs to work on the other things. They're great in PvE right now. They're fantastic. They're killing it. But we still got to do the PvP, specifically the Crucible stuff and all that. So at least now we're starting to, get a little thing here, a little map here, a little, just slowly, build that thing back up, please. That's what we want, because I love PvP.
So from what I've heard, I feel like they're building a ritual activities team at Bungie to focus on the ritual activities.
Would it be ritually in the PvP?
Well, I mean, PvP's got a little bit next season. One new map.
That's not getting
hey, a baby step.
Trials, adept weapons. There's little bits there. I mean, it's not PvP focused like the season clearly, but I don't think we'll ever get that in Destiny. I feel. We saw what happened with a Gambit focused season, right? So we ain't going to go down that road again. But yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. I mean, a new Crucible map is, jokes aside, is way long overdue. And even just having some form of way of just map voting, dude. Just add it.
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
I want to play
keep
Exodus
popping.
Crash, not Exodus Crash. Exodus
Blue, I'd love strike voting, but that'd be a whole different.
In a row.
Maybe just
map voting would be nice, just from a quality of life improvement standpoint.
Yeah, or maybe just add the competitive and a social playlist that has all the game modes in it, so that we can play some of these other modes that never get played.
Well, and it will help with the player base, right? Because if you've got more players, the games will be more enjoyable.
And then create ranks with rewards that
I'm with you. I'm with you. You always fight me, but I'm with you.
Imagine not implementing the rank system from like the last FPS you made into your most recent one, or a similar iteration.
And they haven't done it for 8 years.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity. I would say that at this point, but it's nice to see some little additions for season 17 for Crucible. At least it'd be interesting to see how they, like you said, with the Solar 3.0, it's going to be a bit of a mess. But
I can't wait for like sunspots and a throwing hammer and just absolute chaos. And
standing in sunspots behind a void barricade with an overshield. I can't think of anything better, bro.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
Three
John,
Titans going. Go ahead.
I had a quick question for John. Sorry. Do you think, like how they did with Void 3.0, where they kind of made us lean into also utilizing it in conjunction with Void elemental weapons? Do you think they will do the same, and like we will be pulling out a lot of these solar weapons, energy slots to synergize in conjunction with an artifact, or you think they may not? It just may just be the actual subclass rework, and that's it.
I think they'll lean into it because they want. I think every subclass deserves its moment in the sun. Like, no pun intended. But like,
nailed it.
It's this moment to shine, right? So once you get all three at 3.0, then I think you'll create a bit more of a balance, and they could probably lean into them generally. But yeah, I feel like it makes sense to focus on it in some way. So if you haven't got good solar weapons now, you got a couple of weeks to get them. But yeah, it makes absolute sense. It's going to be burning and healing for solar. So
yeah, I've been wondering what the verbs are going to be, because those are the two obvious ones, like burning, healing. But I mean, they did like volatile, suppress. They did so many more than I thought for void. I can't ever seem to come up with 6 that all make sense for solar yet. I can't quite get there.
Yeah, man, because like volatile won't exist anymore, but they could do combustion rounds,
explosions of some kind. Yeah, that makes sense.
They could do something along those lines.
Explosions.
But then you can, but like this season, we're taking Void 3.0 and overlapping that with Elemental Wells. Like this is what I talked about earlier with Warmind cells could actually be triggering off multiple explosions, and you can just create a chain reaction. Just
solar also heals,
carnage.
Right? Like Void is overshield, solar heals. That's kind of the.
Because interestingly, what I found out today, thanks to Clanmate Duddits, is that like the suppression on Warmind cells doesn't actually engage with any of the suppressive mods this season. Yeah, for some reason. They're completely separate from each other. So it makes you think that actually some of the solo elements, some of them may or may not work next season. So it'd be interesting to see what does and doesn't.
Gonna have to see how Rage of the Warmind plays in as well with that mod. Interesting.
But with seasons, just quickly going back to that, I'm sort of along the lines with Trav a little bit. I feel like actually having a little bit of a breather in the season to feel like you can play Destiny when you want to play Destiny, not because you feel that you need to. And it's a bit of a balance, because like you take a season like Season of the Lost, which was 6 months long, and it felt quite disjointed. Whilst it was like 12 weeks to tell the story, it was like 3 months before we got the conclusion, and that just felt bad. Because if you join, I mean, whilst it gives a lot of people time to catch up, if you don't even have to engage with the game regularly, you'll notice the downtime in between. And they did a fairly good job to try people to engage, but narratively it sort of came to a standstill. I felt 4 weeks was a bit short for a story, but then Witch Queen was the main story, and if history repeats itself, the second season of any given major expansion tends to be the standout. You just look at Black Armory, Dawn, Season of Dawn, Chosen. They're some of the best seasons we've seen, not just story wise, but just what they offered to the game overall. So that might be part of why they're so excited. Season's generally about 15 weeks long though, so I feel like as long as the story's probably not more than half of that, it gives us more than enough time to enjoy and engage with the rest of what the season's got to offer without feeling like we're FOMO'd out, which is something Luke Smith has often spoke about previously when he was game director, about trying to avoid. So yeah, I think like this season was the best it could be without trying to take the spotlight off Witch Queen. Like the story beat was strong.
Big time,
really strong for like 4 weeks. Like that little room in the helm,
it was going down
like one cutscene. But if the cutscene was worth it,
and I liked the banter in Psyops. I like what was going on, Caiatl and what you call a Saladin and the Crow thing. Like it's still, and then even afterwards, now you get kind of a little different post dialogue after the events of what has happened with Saladin, which I like. So it's good character development. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with all of you guys. It's been nice. I mean, Elden Ring, I didn't get to start that until the season kind of wrapped, but as soon as that wraps, I'm like, okay, I can kind of put a pin in this. More of my time can be put into something else while I still do, put up the YouTube videos and stuff like that. It is so nice to have that balance, because I think I've said it before, that's what keeps my relationship with Destiny healthy, is my ability to step away and play other things. Now, thankfully, these are things I get to choose to play, as opposed to Travis, who has to review bad things. So I apologize for Travis's sake, but he does get some good ones occasionally. But he's also been put through the crap ringer lately. So hopefully your next one's like, I don't know, a beast or something. But no, it's like, I'm getting to a point where he knows what it is.
Oh,
and he's like, no.
No, I finished reviewing a game like a week ago that was a 7 out of 10. But yeah.
Oh well, at least it's not a 2.
I know. I get the occasional all right game. So
yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's like I want to play. I've got like 2 or 3 indies I want to play. Horizon's kind of in the backlog for the summer, so that'll probably fall when.
I'm surprised. No Horizon.
Basically, it was Horizon, Destiny, Elden Ring. It was Destiny. Then I'm playing Elden Ring, and then since
you guys are still playing Elden Ring.
I was near. I was near towards the end, and then I was at Millennia, who's a tough fight, one of the hardest, like if not the hardest per se, depending on what your build is. She got bugged with a recent patch, so I had basically just stepped away. She was impossible to kill, because even when she didn't hit you, she would heal. She already has a healing mechanic, but she would heal without even touching you. So I was like, all right, let me take a little breather. They fixed it recently, they told me, so I got to get back into that and finish it, because I've only got kind of the final stretch to go. I know it's not a small stretch, but I'm on the final stretch, so I do want to finish that and then, get back into the season. So, but that's the nice. I agree with you guys. The fact that the ending isn't good, we're not waiting for the final chapter in the book. Thank you. I was like, I appreciate that. Whether it's 4 weeks or 6 or however long of a story they got to tell, if they end the story in successive weeks, that's fine. If you want to do an epilogue, a tease to go into the next, cool. So I was like, they continue to learn and like over the years, I mean, we don't have a Gambit focus season. Then you have something like season of, with Osiris and Saint. And you're like, this is cool. Then on the other side, thank you, Angry. No, it's not that big. Then we've got like Chosen was like epic, and you had Battlegrounds come in, and just as you guys have said, the next season after an expansion could be, I didn't even think about like the order of those, but as Jarv said, that next season post expansion is usually one of the best. So I think the excitement is probably time to get hyped, and Solar 3.0 and Iron Banner rework, all of it coming in the same season. So you've got Iron Banner / Dawn, Season of Dawn, the Iron Banner rework coming in to basically give that piece of PvP a little bit more, and another map.
Does that Iron Banner quest expire this season, and they're gonna have another one next season?
Yep, it will.
Hand in all your bounties, your tokens.
Every token's got to go in this last.
Yeah,
I haven't played Iron Banner yet, so I need to. Next time it pops up, I need to finish it all. Apparently, the whole quest.
Turn in all your tokens. It's the last time it comes up this season. So when it comes, I think it's the second to last week. So it's like the
penultimate week, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the day.
Procrastinating again. This is reminding me of my college years.
24th, the 10th, I think, is when it will be. May 10th, I think is. So second week of Guardian Games, Iron Banner will be the last Iron Banner of the season. So turn in all of your tokens. I have like 2,000 of those to turn in, so I'll get a whole bunch of crap. But again, if you get a good roll on a solar machine gun, save it. You got a lot of potential with that Archon's Thunder if you get a good one.
I hope that new machine gun has chain reaction, but that's just me.
Oh, that would be so much fun. I hope so too.
Nice.
Subsistence chain reaction. Sign me up.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. What happened? The room exploded.
Yeah.
That is all. Moving on.
Mhm.
Anything else you guys got for this one? I know we actually managed to do this under 2 hours, which was kind of surprising, but I mean, I pulled us out of the terrible debate earlier, got us into the relative content, and but yeah, and I mean, honestly, Guardian Games, while it may drag on, like, burn through the stuff that's important and see what you got, but you got 3 weeks left in the season. Play as much or as little as kind of like Pigeon. Thank you for coming in. What's up, man?
Pigeon.
On the night shift. Going back,
right.
mate. I worked nights for 7 years. This is like going back for me.
Me too.
Yeah, there's moments I worked so many early. At a chat question from earlier, I thought I answered that one. New Red. That was kind of what we were talking about with regards to kind of like ending out the seasons. So we did.
I want to put a question to you guys real quick. So that we got the dungeon next season.
Yeah.
So where would you like to see that? Because like Grass was like a bit of a labyrinth in the Cosmodrome. Like think of the destinations that are in the game now. Where would you put it?
Europa.
I like that. We need to go back there. Yeah, we're kind of beyond light since it's passed and gone away. Yeah, I would like that. Yeah, we haven't done that.
I'm trying to think, because you got one on Dreaming City, got one on the moon. You've got Prophecy, which is literally still
kind of
somewhere in the unknown.
Yeah, it's like, where is that? Just anywhere. Yeah, and
inside
then we got
of Star Horse.
It's in Star Horse's butt. Grasp, of course, you said Cosmodrome. So those are the 4. So this will be number 5. I was like, Throne World would be the other one. Yeah, it's like Europa or Throne World.
Somebody said, why not Throne World? My answer is because I've been at the Throne World for a lot recently. And it's like
you need
little bit of a break.
Variety of... So all the swampy, you're going to trade out for all the snowy?
Interestingly,
Sure.
no one's mentioned Nessus.
I thought about that too, but I was like,
love, but
Nessus, it's been so long. It feels like a very
know.
arbitrary reason to go.
Yeah.
The only reason I would wonder about something like Nessus is because Europa had like the new engine and lighting done, so it's going to stay in the game for a while. There's some of the older destinations where I don't know if they're going to like rework or sunset, so they wouldn't put it in a destination that would be older. But if Nessus is still one of the biggest planets, it's still got potential to stay around. Oh, give me a dungeon and a pyramid ship. Sold. I'm done if it's there. That'd be
awesome. 17th Dreadnought would be pretty sick for a dungeon.
yeah,
Actually.
sure. DJ wants to Dreadnought. Pigeon said the Ascendant played on the throne world.
Yeah,
I'm
I
kidding.
thought Nessus would be interesting. Like,
Nessus would be
just-
cool. Who do you guys think the enemies? Because we've had Fallen, taken, unfortunately, and then Hive. So who do you guys think would be? What do you got? Scorn left and Vex, depending on where they go with the story.
It's time for the Vex to come back outside.
Maybe a Vex. When was our Vex
Not
dungeon?
Scorn,
Vex.
please.
Yeah, I'm done with
I'm
Scorn
okay.
now.
I'm okay without Scorn.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have.
I don't want to wait for teleporting for 45 minutes.
Mhm.
We haven't had. Have we got a Vex dungeon? Or am I just like smooth brain for a
No.
second?
No, there's only
Yeah.
4,
Oh.
and 2 are taken. Then you got Cosmodrome with Fallen and Hive for Pit of Heresy. Yeah, you've only got 4, so
There we
Vex
go.
Vex would be fitting.
Yep.
Mhm.
I like that.
Vex
I
also
love-
works with Europa, by the way.
As long as it's not
Ah.
Tanix as the
You're
boss.
Yeah,
Tanix, like Vexified Tanix.
No, let's bring Tanix back. also.
Queria 2.0.
Oh
Yeah.
god. Oh god.
He didn't actually die, imagine, and we have to kill her in the dungeon again.
I want Tanix to be the boss, and I want Varix to scream at 300% volume when he shows up. I want that to.
The boss is Fenchurch.
actually, the boss is Aramis because she got thawed.
Oh, there you go.
That was
Bring
a
it
rumor
back.
as well, actually, wasn't it, for next season?
Unthaw the thought. That's what I say.
That
Do
Aramis,
it.
Aramis gets unthawed next season. That was a rumor.
That'd be
I thought about. Yeah, I'll be surprised if it is.
The
That's
new
quite
solar.
big.
We're messing
it's
around
quite
with
a
our
big
new
deal for a
solar
season, though,
abilities.
isn't it?
And we melt
Yep.
her with them.
yeah. We're too
Yeah.
strong with the fire. How strong are you?
Yeah.
Too strong. Aramis no longer.
That's a good suggestion,
Yeah.
Jar.
Yeah, honestly,
Is
I
it-
love dungeons, so I'm just like can't wait to get my hands on the new one. They're always my
We know
favorite.
you like dungeons, Z.
Mm.
Oh yeah, this is the.
And
Not
dragons.
just in Destiny.
Mm-hmm. Oh, about the sponsorship. So check out Advanced G.
Yeah, I will say those of you guys who enjoy Advanced GG, check us all out tomorrow. Stay tuned. Good things coming. That's about all I got though. You guys got anything else you want to ask Jarv? Well, we got the celebrity guest star here, the YouTube rock star,
Sensation.
Mr. Jarvinius.
The sensation. Listen, man, salute the job, man. Proud of you, bro. Proud of you. I see the grind. I see the content. It's consistent. He's a warlock. He's cool. Perfect package, man. Like, come on, UK in the building. Nah, but salute, man. It's always good to see what you're doing and catch up. Glad you was able to come through. You know what I mean? And what other exciting projects you have going on, sir? What else is going on with you?
It's really I've just been planning a lot for next season, really. It sounds boring, but yeah, it's like literally getting my ducks in a line. I think you either fail to prepare or prepare to fail, right? So that consistency is all part of the planning, really. So yeah, that's really where I'm at. No major bombshells in that sense. Personally though, like it's all the success that we've had over the last 2 or 3 years has like put us in a position to actually be able to finally get someone that we can actually call our own, actually buy our own place, hopefully
That's
in
awesome.
the next year or so. Like, so it's mad because like you work a 9 till 5 and you're in a bit of a rat race and you live, it feels like you're living to paycheck to paycheck. It's quite wild. And then it's like, oh, never, you can never really put that money to one side to actually make that step. But yeah, this has put me in a completely unique position that I'm immensely grateful for, and potentially, a major life changing event could occur as a result. So, yeah, like personally, that's where I'm at, and that's where like the headspace is at. My work standpoint is about being consistent to make that a reality. Yes, and it just goes to show if you put your mind to anything and you work hard at it, if you're good at something, and you enjoy doing it, then you tend to get into a position to try and get rewarded for it, and just put
What if you're not good at
in.
anything?
Well, if you're not good at it, everyone's good at something. They just don't know it yet.
No, I've tried it all. I don't have no skills.
You're better at the crucible than I am, so that's a fact for sure.
There you go.
Maybe.
There you go. Congrats, man. Good stuff, man. Love
huge.
to see it. Love to see it.
Well, as we wrap up, Jarv, this is your time to tell people who made it to the end of the episode. I really need to start doing this in the beginning. saw that on another podcast where I'm like, hey, in the beginning, where to find you, like your quick intro drop right there at the beginning. Where can people find you? What can they expect from you? I said half of it in the intro, but tell them what to expect from you. I know it, but they may not. So the floor is yours, sir.
You can expect This Week in Destiny every week, because Destiny resets every week, so that's always fun. So you can get to know what you need to know before you need to know it, which is always great. So that's an absolute given, and obviously the weekly resets is an absolute must as well. So consistent cadence of content is what you can expect from me, and there's
nice
no plans
alliteration there.
about that. Yeah, man. So that's where we're at. In terms of where you can find me, everywhere at Jar Venus, pretty much. But everyone calls me Jarv. Even my mum at one point. That was really awkward. But anyway,
Nice.
Hey, Jarv, you're like, I'm sorry.
That paycheck hit different now.
Hey, when someone uses my real name, I feel like being told off. I'm like, hang on a second. Barely even hear it nowadays, but it's all good. But yeah, that's where you can find me, and that's what you can expect.
That's hilarious. It sounds so funny for you to say you've been told off. That sounds so
British. I love it.
Yeah, so British, but also so like you've been told off. Like that sounds worse than being cussed out in the States. Like being told off is like, no, they just destroyed you with words somehow. That just cracks me up. Travis, what do you got on the horizon? Something you can't talk about and anything you can talk about?
I think I can talk about most of the stuff I've worked on. So yeah, I've got a couple reviews coming out soon. Content you can find at IGN.com. My latest review, I think, I feel like I played this game like a month ago, but the next review I have that's going live is of Trek to Yomi, which is like a samurai type game. That's going live on May 5th, which still is like super far away. God, dude, I played that game so long ago. And then I've got some other stuff on the pipe, but you can find me on Twitter at TagGuyTravis. You can watch all my reviews, previews, and other stuff on IGN.com. And on Sundays, I fight with a lawyer for some reason on a show called Bitcast. Yeah. Well, we rarely see eye to eye, but we love each other. So you can watch me do that on Sundays at 8 a.m. Pacific if you want to wake up early and hang out with me. And yeah, that's it. Love being here. Love fighting with Cog. Fisticuffs with my boy over here. So,
I'm gonna be like the ref on the sidelines when you two get into like a UFC match over here. So
yeah, but here's the thing: you're a biased ref. You're always on his side. You're never reffing on my side. You're like a ref, but instead of wearing the stripes, you've got like his team logo on your shirt. You know what I mean?
We got sponsored by Cog on the ref's jersey over here. You're like, that seems wrong.
Sure.
Break it up, guys. You got it, Cog.
Yeah, get that extra hit in. I'll let it slide. Go ahead.
Hands him some brass knuckles.
That was good.
What about you, man? What do you got upcoming?
Look, man, a lot of PAX coverage. Please check it out. We really hit a lot of games there. The AA space, AAA space, some phenomenal games. Evil West, go check that out. Trek to Yomi, which Travis is about to review. We got, a lot of good stuff coming in the gaming space. Also, Defining Duke with Maddie Plays. Maddie came up to PAX. That was cool. We got to hang out again.
Saw those pictures.
That was so dope, man. I love Maddie, man. He's hilarious. And Iron Lord podcast. You already know every Sunday's the Lord's Day. More guests, more fun thing cooking. And honestly, I'm getting excited about GCX. I've been planning, been doing a lot of stuff going on there. Xbox decides to do something to annoy me. So I'm going to have to pivot because the tickets were already purchased and flights already made. So,
I mean, you can just record there, right? Because I'm probably going to do E3 work for IGN from the hotel room or whatever.
Hotel room. Yeah.
We'll do it together.
We might need to work together, all of us, like literally. And if we could get a conference room or something, that'd be dope. Need to find out about the high-speed internet in the Leviathan, Rosen, Shingle Creek.
I don't think they've discovered high-speed internet in Florida yet.
God,
They've got high-speed alligators. I think.
McDonald's Wi-Fi is. Let's go.
You guys are going to be going to Starbucks for a meeting.
Wi-Fi, is that new strain of meth that they cooked?
So
I think.
Hey, moving on. Florida earned some of that recently. It's fine.
Yeah, messy, but yeah, look, I'm excited. I'm excited for that, and man, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Like I really missed it because when I came back and I read the notes, I'm like, I missed all of this juicy TWAB, and you know how I get with Sandbox patches and all that stuff. So it's going to be back, and of course, Jarv in the building. E, what is going on with you?
Well, it sounds like I'm going to be able to finish Elden Ring, so I got to do that in the off time. Same thing, trying to see what I've got ready for Guardian games coming up, get ready for Season 17, and then just watch the rocket ship of Jarv on the YouTube world leave and travel to the moon. And mad respect, man. No, seriously, I'm very... Thank you for bringing us on, for coming on tonight, first off. But honestly, like, your hard work and your success is awesome to watch, and I'm very, very happy to see that, because you've kicked a bunch of butt and you've like had your head down and grinded, and it's working. So happy for the success, and happy to see those life-changing events coming your way, because you've earned it.
Appreciate it, man. Super kind.
Yes, sir.
For me, Ebontis everywhere, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. You guys know where to find me. Yeah, stay tuned for either streams from me. You guys know where to follow, but please, Iron Lords podcast, lordsofgaming.net, LordCognito, find him. Travis, please find all of his things related to YouTube, and then the Bitcasts, where I know they're going to be doing something. I may be swinging by the Bitcast. We'll find out, maybe.
I know
Maybe.
you're gonna be there. For
Yeah. So there's
He getting around. She's
yeah.
moving.
No, Ains reached out, so I guess I got to figure it out. So you might find me on Sunday chatting for a little quick pop in. And
Nice.
then please go follow Jarv everywhere. Just look up that, find the V, and you guys will find amazing content from a very, very awesome gentleman. So that is where we wrap up this episode. So thank you all very much for being here. Chat, you guys have been awesome. Again, thank you, the hosts. Thank you to our guest. And for this episode, it has been
The last word.
the last
The
word.
last
We're gonna share
word.
the last word.
Jarv with the speedy one. All right, everybody. Have a good one. We will see you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Peace.
McClunky.
McClunky.